Welcome to Foxhall Stadium here in the heart of Ipswich for the first leg of the 2023 Sports Insure Premiership Grand Final between the Ipswich Witches and the Sheffield Tigers. Good evening then from the pits here in Foxhall, where the atmosphere is building, and the atmosphere is certainly tense. We've had to wait 24 hours to get this first leg of the grand final underway because of bad weather in Suffolk yesterday, but we're here now. And the last 2 weeks, though, they have been a roller coaster of emotions for both of these two teams and their fans, as they've had to battle out across two legs of the semi-final to make this year's grand final.
Here we go, types are up, and we're away, and the Aces have made a much better start this time. Definitely Kurtz is there. Here comes Lindsay around the outside, but Sayfutdinov, where did he come from? Can Harris do anything about Jamin Lindsay? Harris now, chopping back to the inside, he's through. Brilliant ride from Harris. It's going to keep that 18-point lead with a 3-all here in heat number 15. Takes up, we're underway. Bewley's made a good start. Doyle has made an even better one. Certainly Kurtz is there. Here comes Bewley on the inside. Sayfutdinov around the outside in at second place. Doyle coming through into third. Kurtz has gone off there. Look at Bewley. Bewley on the inside. Incredible move from Bewley again. Doyle fires himself back to the front. Bewley's now in front. Sayfutdinov in the third place. You can third blanket over all four riders. Here comes Doyle again. He's hit the front. Sayfutdinov now up the inside. Oh, they nearly ran into each other, but the Witches have hit the front. And right now, the Ipswich Witches are going through to the final. This could be the race when the Sheffield Tigers seal their place in the grand final. They have dominated semi-final number 2. Here we go then, heat number 10. Tapes are up. Into the first corner we go. Schwein's made a good start off the inside. Howarth has gone very wide in the first corner. Coming down the back straight, Lambert into third place. Howarth now tucking up the inside. Oh, he's getting himself to the front with Rory Schlein right round the outside. It's going to be tight. Howarth's got there. Super ride from Carl Howarth. Now Robert Lambert up the inside. They're doing it in style tonight, the Sheffield Tigers. The rain's coming down. The conditions are tricky out there. And the Sheffield Tigers with a big 5-1 in heat number 10. And they're in the final.
And we're now joined by Calvin Tatum. Brilliant commentary, Calvin.
Thank you very much. Yeah, an exciting race, wasn't it?
Cal, we've got to start by congratulating Bartosz Marslik, champion of the world for the 4th time in 5 years.
Yeah, fantastic achievement under huge pressure going into Torrent, of course, after the drama that happened in Voyens. Just a 6-point lead, so realistic chance for Fred Ingram, but crikey, he did it in style, didn't he? He hit a fabulous start in the final, and there was no stopping him. Brilliant rider and a fabulous achievement.
Yeah, a real class act. And just a reminder that there is additional content available on Discovery Plus, so if you want to see how Bartek won that final, we also have extended interviews with both of our team captains tonight. It's available on Discovery Plus. But back to the here and now, Calv, and Sheffield Tigers, Ipswich Witches. It's the first time, actually, since the playoffs began in 2002, that the 3rd and the 4th place team from the regular league have met each other in the final.
Absolutely, yeah, and it was a reminder of how long the playoffs have been around as well, since 2002. But yes, it is a first on that regard. It's only 4 times that the 4th place team that have made the made the final. So, and only twice that they have come through and won it. So stats, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm not normally up for those sort of things, but tonight I am. But no, it's an interesting matchup. Both teams are in top form.
Yeah, and for the Witches, it has been an incredible story. Obviously, just boosted by the fact that they have a dynamic duo in Sayfutdinov and Doyle.
Yeah, fabulous pairing, eye-catching pairing. The sort of pairing that puts bums on seats, it really does. Sayfutdinov has been outstanding throughout the season. Jason Doyle, of course, came to the team last year, has replicated that sort of form once again. So they have been very dynamic at the back end of meetings. I'm expecting the same tonight.
Yeah. In contrast, Simon Stead, he's had his work cut out having to manage an injury-ridden side.
Yeah, not easy, and that's put them under a lot of pressure. 3 world-class riders they've lost, you know, obviously Jack Holder initially, and then Ty Woofenden coming in, they lose him, and then Tobias Michalak. It really has been an attritional period for them, but they've done remarkably well. The patched-up team, they're looking good.
They're looking really good. Well, let's hear from the team managers now. They're speaking to Davo.
Richie Hawkins, so much drama last week in the semi-final against Bellevue, and now a chance to reset, refocus. What's the mood in the camp tonight?
Yeah, good. Like, obviously, we've been in great form, and atmosphere is brilliant, and the boys are buzzing. I think we just, like last week, the determination and Heat 15 and just everything we've been through to get here. Yeah, so we just got to carry on. Another 2. If we want it as much as we have done to get here, and we can carry it on for two more meetings, you know, we've got a great shot.
This will be a tough test. You've been here 3 times this season. The score has actually got worse every time. Ipswich clearly in form. So what can you do to try and keep this tie certainly alive ahead of the second leg?
Oh, we need to be better than what we've been previously, but we have shown a liking for Ipswich before. I know we've not been particularly good here this year, but I think we're a better team now. I think with the makeup of the side and with the balance, I think we're in a better position. I think we've been unfortunate the last couple of times we've been here with having to run RR and, you know, bits and pieces that go against you. It's not easy with an unsettled team, but we've got 7 riders. I know we've had to draft some guests in, which is out of our control, but we've got to field the best team possible. And I think we've got the right balance, and I think we've got 7 riders capable of helping us achieve what we want.
Sheffield, Calv, what can they do tonight?
Well, they'll be looking to push on. As we were hearing from Simon there, they've got a good-looking outfit now, and it's come together at the last minute, and they've gelled very quickly. I think they'll be ambitious.
Yeah.
They will want to win here if they possibly can. They came up short against the Aces last year. They're desperate to win the championship at the highest level for the very first time.
And Witches are desperate to win it for the first time in 25 years.
Sure.
The last time we were here in the semi-finals, they won by 18 points. That's a big ask to repeat that tonight, but what would be an ideal outcome for them?
I think double figures. I think that if they could get to 10 and go to Allerton on Thursday, I think they'll be satisfied with that. I think any more than that, they'll be absolutely delighted.
OK, let's hear from the captains now. They're talking to Dave.
Danny Keynan, 25 years since Ipswich won the league title. Is that something that the riders now are aware of, that have in the back of their minds?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've been well aware of that for a while, and we've been trying to change it for a few years now, but it's never come to fruition. So, yeah, we've got a good chance. You know, I'm happy with the way the team's going. We've been on a great little run towards the end of the year, and we did a good job in the semi-final in the playoffs. So I feel we deserve to be here. Obviously up against a very strong Sheffield side, so it's going to be very tough, but we need to get off to a good start tonight and try and build up a lead.
Howarth, we've seen a very lengthy Sheffield team talk taking place here. Can you give us an insight into what was said?
Just having a team talk and talking setups, what everyone else is running and what we think about the track and whatnot. And Steady went over the programme with us, what he's thinking about starts and where and whatnot. So, yeah, good team talk and normal team talk, really, nothing special. Obviously, we know we're just treating it as a normal meeting.
Not been easy for you with so many guests coming in week after week, but you've got a good spirit going, and it seems certainly the combination between you and Robert Lambert works superbly in the semi-finals.
Yeah. So look, it's we're patched up. Obviously, we all know we've had injuries, and it's what it is, and we've got guests in to recover that. So, look, the boys are gelled. We all know each other. There's good atmosphere, and there's confidence in the team.
Well, the last time we were here, it was torrential rain in the semi-finals. Very different conditions tonight. And earlier this evening, we sent Calvin out for his track report.
Foxhall Heath, first leg of the grand final. Big night ahead, of course. I must say that the track conditions look very good indeed. They did have quite a lot of rain here yesterday, but today, a smashing day, a little cooler. Just looking down at the start line where some of the boys are now, the actual start line's got plenty of grip on it. They work the starts pretty hard here at Foxhall Heath. No real surprises there. I'm stood on the entrance to the first corner. The dirtometer's out. As I say, there's been quite a lot of rain around, so there is quite a nice top surface here. You can dig in, you can chip away at it. If I make my way just It's kind of on the racing line. I think here the water's actually got into the surface a bit. It is a little bit softer. I'll keep my fingers crossed that that doesn't present problems as guys come roaring into this part of the track. And then, as always, we see it often. They work the outside of the track. You can see how it's been ripped up and where the tractor's been going around with the grader. The dirtometer will go in a fair amount. It does produce plenty of grip out here, and I'm expecting the boys to be able to utilise it pretty much big time. A little firmer here on the outside, but as the material gets thrown out wide, I don't see any reason why they won't be able to utilise it. As I say, business end of the season, grand final week, two teams in top form. What a story it's been for both of them, but particularly for the Witches when they just crept into the top four. It's going to be a fabulous night of Speedway. Please just don't miss it.
Okay, thank you, Calvin. Well, we're just getting ready to head out for the Riders Parade. I can see the grandstand, and there's a good turnout tonight here at Foxhall Stadium. It is the first leg of the grand finals after all. Obviously, it is over 2 legs, and we'll be in Owlerton in Sheffield on Thursday night. Both teams full of confidence, full of momentum, but obviously only one is going to lift that trophy come Thursday. And I can see now the bikes are about to be started. It's time for the Riders Parade, so I shall hand you over to Calvin Tatum.
Thank you very much, Abby. Yeah, what a night in prospect here. Two top teams that have been going along very nicely. The Witches, of course, crept into the top 4 this year by just getting the better of Leicester. Well, Peterwood actually did them a massive favour, but we'll take a look at the Tigers initially. Young Jason Edwards coming out here. He's the rising star for the Sheffield Tigers. Quite handy around this track as well. I know that he will be keen to do well here at the Foxhall Heath tonight. Connor Mountain, a guest. Now, there are 3 guests in the Sheffield Tigers side tonight, and Connor is one of those and is a handy rider down at reserve. Injury has been a huge problem for the Tigers in recent weeks. Here's another one, Richard Lawson, who is well known to us all. He rides regularly here in the UK, and Richard Lawson has done a great job, actually, particularly in the semi-final leg at Wolverhampton, where he rode brilliantly for them. My man to watch tonight now for the Sheffield Tigers is Josh Pickering. He had a slow start as he joined the team from the Kings Lynn Stars midway through the season, but of late has been in terrific form. So Josh will be looking to put his best foot forward here this evening. Chris Holder, former world champion. What a signing this is, and Chris has been in sparkling form for the Tigers. Fabulous in the second leg in difficult conditions last week. I expect a big performance from Chris. Carl Howarth, the captain, never knows when he's beat. He's always giving his very best out there. And Carl is here. He's been part of the Tigers setup for some considerable time. And now the third guest, and one that really is very eye-catching indeed. Robert Lambert, back in British Speedway, initially for the Kings Lynn Stars, but guesting for the Sheffield Tigers, was outstanding for them in the first leg at Wolverhampton. So they are the visitors. Now the home team, Joe Thompson coming in as the rising star for the Witches down at number 7. And Joe from the Midlands area has actually been attached to the Leicester area. Danyon Hume, hard-charging Danyon Hume down at number 6 and looking to do the business. Another rider that never really knows when he's beat, and certainly part and parcel of the team these days. Now, Jason Doyle is my man to watch tonight. Jason, of course, is well known to us all. Such a wonderful rider, and he's doing a wonderful job. He had a nasty injury in the Voyens Grand Prix a few weeks ago, but he's back and he's riding well, and is clearly very fired up to do well tonight and win the league title this week. Keynan, another Australian that is building his confidence, had a good run in the SGP2 World Championship and has settled in nicely here at Foxhall Heath for the Ipswich Witches. Danny King, the captain of the Witches, has been in much better form of late and is doing a grand job, and it's good to see Danny back to good form, because he had some frustrating periods. This man has had a frustrating season. Erik at number 2 tonight, the German. Little bit up and down in his performances this year. The virus that he caught earlier in the year really has held him back, but Erik on his night can be very good. And what can we say about Emil Sayfutdinov? Back in British Speedway, has been in fabulous form. He has been the rider of the season and has done a sensational job, and a big fan favourite here at Foxhall. So
They are your two teams that are going to go head-to-head tonight, and once again on Thursday we've got 30 heats to decide who are going to be the grand final playoff champions of 2023. For the moment, we will make our way back down to Abbey in the pit area.
Kelv, thank you. Well, we want you to be part of the conversation, and the hashtag tonight, of course, is Ipshy. So any questions that you've got, Scott Nichols is away this evening. He is racing in Glasgow, and we wish him well. I will pose them to Calvin later on in the programme. OK, it's heat one of this first leg of the grand final, and it's coming up next. We're with Danny King, who is obviously captain of the Ipswich Witches. Danny, here we are, grand final. How are you feeling?
Feeling good. Quite excited, actually. You know, this is what it all comes down to all year, and we've made it, and it's a great feeling. It's big for the club, and we have a good chance. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And how do you have managed sort of the emotional roller coaster which has been the Ipswich Witches, I want to say for the last couple of weeks, but actually for the last couple of months?
I think I'm still riding it at the minute. It's been mad. The last few months have just been crazy, and we've been on a great run. And yeah, you know, I think we deserve to be here. We've rode really well, and hopefully we can continue that and get this over the line.
And what's the ideal scenario tonight for the first leg on home shale?
Obviously, we need a win. And we need to take as many points as we can up to Sheffield. So just head down from the start and try and build up a lead. And
I'm looking at the rest of the camp behind you at the moment. It's the calm before the storm. But what would you summarise as the general feeling?
I think it's good. I think it's, you know, the ride we've been on this year, it's just been a bit unreal, and nothing's changed today. So I think everyone's just going along with what we've been doing, and everyone seems quite calm, which is nice. We'll be going for our track walk shortly, so we'll have a bit more of a chat then. But yeah, the plan is just do what we've been doing.
And for you, Danny, in terms of that captaincy, is there a sense of motivating and geeing them up, or do you just let them go about their job? How do you play your part?
To be honest, my job's been quite easy this year. With Jason and Emil in the team, it's two big characters, and yeah, they speak for themselves a lot of the time, and they're really good with everyone. So yeah, it's just normal, you know. We just try and stay relaxed and go and do what we've been doing.
And for you personally, I mean, what is that pressure like for you? You've been around for a long, long time, Danny, but, you know, this could be silverware. It could be the double after the Knockout Cup victory as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's huge for everyone, including myself, and it would mean so much to me as a rider. You know, I've been here many seasons now, and we have a very good chance of lifting this trophy, so I'm going to give it 100%.
How much do you look at the opposition, or is it the whole focus on today? Because when we're looking at the Sheffield Tigers, obviously Robert Lambert is a superstar guest. Yeah,
they're very strong, and just looking at the guests they've brought in, you know, they're strong throughout. So it's going to be a tough task, that's for sure. I think it's very important we get the win tonight and build up as big a lead as we can to take to Sheffield.
Right, Danny. Good luck this evening.
Cheers, Abby. Thanks.
Well to get here, brilliant in the cup, but now it's 0-0 and it's all out the window, and we're just 30 heats and what will be, and we just need to carry on what we've been doing. We've been brilliant. The determination of the team has been superb, and you know, the support's great, but you know, it was a very tough end of the year, and thank you very much for sticking with us, and the boys never give in, and like you stuck behind us, and you know, it's appreciated so much, and just give you another good night.
And of course, new average is coming into effect on the 1st of October, so a rejig of the lineup.
Yeah, obviously we've been this form, this team earlier on in the year. Yeah, obviously a few riders have a bit better form, so yeah, Keynan is in a good position to be number 4, and I think Dan is also a very strong reserve, so yeah, it's kind of, yes, it changes things, but it's pros and cons for everything.
Okay, thanks very much. That's a few opening remarks from the Tru Mix Witches team manager Richie Hawkins as we're looking ahead to heat number 1. And like I said, great to see so many people here with us tonight. Simply Climate Control, one of our meeting sponsors, as well as A&S Aggregates. So welcome into you guys, and hope you enjoy your evening with us here at Foxhall. So welcome into our referee, Jim McGregor.
Before we get underway with the action here at Foxhall Stadium, a mind of the other sport coming up on the channel includes snooker, the Home Nation Series, the English Open. It's on now on Eurosport 1. The Mountain Bike World Cup is this Friday, 9:15 on Eurosport 2. And the Motocross World Championship, the Motocross of Nations, you can catch that midday on Sunday, also on Eurosport 2. But here, for the first leg of this grand final, we've got your commentator, obviously Kelvin Tatum. He's joined by one half of Team GB management, Ollie Allen. Ollie, welcome.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Yeah, thanks very much, Abby. Yeah, delighted that you've come along tonight, Ollie. It's going to make my life a little bit easier, that's for sure. But two good teams here, grand final week, exciting times. The weather's set fair. What are your thoughts?
It's been a really tight final, I think. I think the Tigers have got some great guests in who will go particularly well at Foxhall, so I expect it to be a close-fought contest.
It should very well be. Robert Lambert, who was in inspired form, particularly in the first leg in the semi-final at Monmore Green. But there's no doubt Emil Sayfutdinov has been a fabulous rider, and Emil Sayfutdinov has come in. I don't think I've ever seen him ride any better, you know, Ollie, because, you know, the way he's all under control, he's just doing things on the bike that other guys can't do.
Yeah, totally agree, and we actually spoke about this before, and as an ex-rider, there aren't many riders you watch that totally sort of blow your mind or impress you, and I came to watch Emil last week, and he was fantastic. I've not seen a sort of more dominant performance in British Speedway for a long time.
Heat number 1 for you tonight, the first race of the grand final, 30 races to come minimum. They will have a super race, but Erik will go from the inside in blue. Carl Howarth out of gate number 2 in yellow. Emil Sayfutdinov gate number 3 in red, and Robert Lambert will go off the outside in the white helmet colour. The Ipswich Witches won the coin toss and elected to go from gates 1 and 3 in the first race. That means that the Sheffield Tigers will have the choice in Heat 15. Been a terrific season for that man. Emil Sayfutdinov, as Ollie was just explaining, has been in sensational form. He's made ex-riders leave their homes to come and watch Speedway. It really has been tremendous to see him back. And in this first race, they'll be hoping to get off to a flying start. Good to get off to a good start, no doubt about that.
Oh, it means so much to all the riders to start well, so they'll all be hoping for a good one here.
Indeed they will. Here we go then, first race of the evening. Green light is on, tapes up and we're underway. They go roaring into the first corner. It's time, Robert Lambert and Emil Sayfutdinov. Oh, Sayfutdinov's left high and wide, and Lambert also just getting himself in all sorts of problems. Erik now around the inside. He hits the front with Carl Howarth now in second place. Lambert running what? Oh my goodness, red lights are on. Red lights are on. Very scrappy start to the night.
Huge first bend there from the number ones. Made contact going in, and I think I was watching the race at the front. I didn't see what happened to Emil. I can only assume he went down on the first bend.
Quite sure he actually went down. Let's just see it again here, because Robert Lambert has come roaring across.
Yeah, great start from Robert. You can see what he's got in his mind. He needs to get to that apex of the corner first. Contact there with Emil. And Emil actually does a fantastic job of not running into the back of Robert, really.
Now, let's just keep an eye on him, because he gets very close to the air fence there. We'll see it once again with this really determined effort from Robert Lambert from the outside. Contact there. Yeah, we are hearing that all 4 will be back. And Emil Sayfutdinov sort of just laying the bike down, but our referee this evening, Jim McGregor, has determined that that was an unsatisfactory start. Probably the right call. It was very untidy.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it is the right call. I think Emil could have stayed up. I think in sort of football terms, that'd be looked upon as almost a bit of a dive, but it's part of the game, and it got him a rerun. So yeah, all 4 back.
Not sure we're going to be able to hear what Simon's saying, but Phil Morris alongside him. But Simon clearly probably not happy with Jim McGregor putting all 4 back. He possibly felt that Emil Sayfutdinov just sort of laid the bike over. It did look slightly odd there. It was a very untidy moment. And Emil Sayfutdinov looked like he got a bit of a thump from Carl Howarth that sort of unsettled him even further.
Yeah, I think you could look at it 2 ways. I mean, I think Emil did go down softly, However, he did really well not to cause a huge crash. So, I think all four's the right call, but I get Simon's frustration.
Okay, let's get some reaction now with David Rowe. He's got Simon Stead with him.
Simon, you've been talking to the referee. What was your view on that?
I haven't got a problem with the decision. I just wanted to know why it took so long to put the red lights on, because obviously it was an extended period of time where, under normal circumstances, if you're taking that long, then somebody's going to get excluded, and also you're putting the other guys at risk by leaving it so long. So yeah, just a question for the referee.
Thanks, Simon. Buzz Kelvin, thank you.
Thank you, David. So second time of asking. That's not exactly what I thought he was chatting about, but I thought he might have been a bit of moan about the fact that Emil Sayfutdinov wasn't excluded, but there we are. Gate number 1, second time of asking. Wrists off the inside in blue. Gate number 2 in yellow is Carl Howarth. Gate number 3 in red is Emil Sayfutdinov. Robert Lambert off the outside in white. Now, Robert Lambert has really been flying. He's top 6 rider. He's back in the Grand Prix next year. I tell you what, he's got a big future, hasn't he, Robert Lambert? He's really coming to his best now.
Yeah, it's been a really good year for him, and he's pushed on this year, and we do expect big things for him in the Great Britain race jacket in the future.
Comes from your neck of the woods, doesn't he?
He does, indeed, he does.
Here we go then, second time of asking. Grand final, first race. What a start from Lambert. Absolutely jet propelled, but Sayfutdinov this time has got there. He charges into the first corner. Down the back straight they go, and Erik is into third place with Carl Howarth at the back. I thought for a moment, actually, Ollie, that Lambert had made it, but Sayfutdinov just had the legs on him.
Yeah, great jump there from Lambert, but I think Emil pulled to the corner slightly better than him, and you can now see that the number 1s are slightly pulling away from the number 2s.
The 2 top boys here out in front. Carl Howarth coming on strong, trying to get the better of Erik Ries. Erik Ries, vital for him to try and hang on in third place to give them a heat advantage here in the opening race. Sayfutdinov and Lambert going great guns out in front. 2 races in one here. Now Howarth with one large chance down the back straight into turns 3 and 4. Don't think he's quite going to do it. Sayfutdinov wins the race. Starts in fine style and a 4-2 to the home team. Just what they were looking for. As I say, hotly contested race out in front though. And the battle for 3rd and 4th as well, but no real surprise, Ollie, to see Sayfutdinov out in front.
No, but what impressed me the most there was Robert stayed with him. Emil didn't pull away from him at all, and so that bodes well for Robert, bodes well for Sheffield, and also Carl Howarth at the back. He's going to be key tonight, I think, and he certainly looked like he had more speed than Erik.
So the result of heat number 1 is Emil Sayfutdinov, 3 points. Second place is Robert Lambert. The third place man with Erik Ries, and Carl Howarth missed out. Just take us through the replays here.
Yeah, it was a great start great jump from Robert, and like you said, it looked like he was going to make it into the first bend first, but Emil drove to the corner better, moved him over on the first bend, and then pushed on from there.
Seeing the start again. Just thought for a moment, Robert Lambert was sharp away from the tapes, but Emil Sayfutdinov certainly was ruthless in the first corner.
Yeah, looking back on it, Robert spent a lot of time with the front wheel in the air and possibly on the clutch a little bit too much and not driving forward as much as he'd like.
Sayfutdinov, though, out in front, but kept very honest there in the first race by Robert Lambert. But a 4-2 nonetheless, so a strong start for the home team with Erik Ries coming under pressure from Carl Howarth. Heat number 2. Very important, these youngsters, because they can take up to 7 rides during the evening. I know that chatting to Chris Louis prior to the meeting starting, the owner of the Ipswich Witches, they were a little concerned about Jason Edwards because he fancies he can get round here. I don't know what your thoughts are on Edwards, but you know him well because obviously you've worked with him in the Team GB setup.
Yeah, I've known Jason for a while now, and he's a good rider, good technical rider, and Ipswich is a technical track. It's somewhere where you need good technique and you need to use your brain. You can't just ride flat out. So that's Jason, in a nutshell. He's a clever rider. So yeah, I think he's a good addition to the Sheffield side.
Yeah, they signed him up fairly recently, and he's been going along nicely. Smashing crowd in here tonight. Really is a super atmosphere. They had a wonderful victory over the Sheffield Tigers in the Knockout Cup recently, but this is the big one. This is the one they're really chasing. The Sheffield Tigers have never won the league title at the highest level. The Sheffield Tigers, they won it in 1998, 25 years ago. So both clubs very keen to put it off on Thursday night. As I say, we'll have 15 heats here, and then we move up to Allerton on Thursday night. Heat number 2, the Connor Mountain. The guests will go from the inside gate in white. Danyon Hume out of gate number 2 in red. Jason Edwards, the rising star for the Sheffield Tigers, comes out of gate number 3 in yellow. And Joe Thompson will go from the outside in blue. And we're on board with Danyon Hume. I'm sure we could get some interesting pictures from him. He's all action, that's for sure. These guys, if they get on the roll, they can take 7 rides on the evening. Team managers will be keeping an eye on that. Here we go, second time of asking. Wow, into the first corner. Mountain makes a good start. Strong start from the inside. Round the outside in the red helmet colour. Danyon Hume. Great effort from Hume to get the better of Mountain initially there. Third place is Thompson. So once again, the home team looking good here. And Danyon Hume, that was a nice move from him, Ollie.
Yeah, great first bet. Full commitment from Danyon, as expected. Again, he's getting a little bit of pressure here from Connor. Connor's spent a lot of time at Ipswich, so he knows this place well.
Jason Edwards now coming up the inside of Thompson. Oh, Danyon Hume's made a big mistake. And all of a sudden, Connor Mountain hits the front. And it's all turned around here. It was a 4-2 initially to the home team. We're into the last lap. And Connor Mountain taking full advantage of a mistake from Hume. Oh, Edwards has gone wide now, but Edwards is hanging on to third place. And this will square it all up. After 2 races, didn't see it going. It looked like it was going to go the way of the Witches. Fair play. Connor Mountain hanging tough there, was in the right place at the right time. And Danyon Hume, respect between the two, but Danyon Hume may just be kicking himself a little bit there. Slipped up.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, got a little bit out of shape there on bends 1 and 2. And I think you did say it was a little bit. The track's a little bit tricky going in there, and with the way that Danyon rides, you know, maybe you could expect a mistake there.
Result of heat number 2, Connor Mountain out in front, 3 points. Danyon Hume back in second place, 2. Jason Edwards coming through into third place, 1. And Joe Thompson fails to score in heat number 2 for a while here. It looked like it was going to go the way of the Witches, Ollie.
Yeah, it did. They had it under control for a couple of laps, and then I think at about the same time they both lost their position. So yeah, Ipswich will be disappointed with that after the first lap anyway. But there you can see again from the start, Connor and Danyon both made good starts from the inside, but Danyon ran up into the dirt and just cruised around the outside of Connor onto the back straight.
This was early doors at the embryonic stages of the race, and Hume looked like he had this under control, but then suddenly, all of a sudden, this mistake here, overlocking, and killed his momentum, didn't it?
Yeah, he sort of drove into the corner quite hard and then overturned in the centre of the corner, and yeah, he lost that position. And I think at the same time, I think at the back, something similar happened.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know quite what happened to Joe Thompson. They seem to slow down the start and finish straight, and that allows Jason Edwards to slip through on the inside. And as a consequence, it's a role reversal midway through the race. Nonetheless, Simon Stead will be pleased to see that his 2 boys coming through for a heat advantage. 6 points apiece after 2 races. Riders now being released for the 3rd race of the night, where we'll see the engine room of both teams. Great to see Chris Holder back in British Speedway, former world champion. He's had a tough time in the last couple of seasons, Chris Holder, with serious injury, but keen to get back into British Speedway. Sheffield Tigers signed him up, and I've got to say, on the evidence of his scores so far, he has been doing a fine job for them. Yeah,
he has. Yeah, I spoke to Simon Stead about his form earlier, and he said he's been really pleased with him. And like you say, Chris has had a tough couple of years, or few years. You know, lots of injuries, and I knew he was keen to get back into British Speedway. Unfortunately, his deal with Peterborough fell through at the start of the year. He was due to sign for them, and something happened there. I think out of his control. So he's really pleased to be back here, and it's great to see him back.
Indeed it is. Boys just approaching the tapes for the 3rd race of the night. Josh Pickering also going on well, and Simon Stead will be looking to his pairing here to do the business for them. Danny King, though, is a danger man. He knows how to get round Foxhall, that's for sure. He's been here for some time. Sayfutdinov, who has been a revelation this year. arguably the best rider in the league. And as I say, people have been flocking from far and wide to watch him this year. Line up for heat number 3. Keynan from Australia will go from the inside in the blue helmet colour. Chris Holder alongside him in white in gate number 2. Gate number 3 in red is Danny King. Josh Pickering off the outside in yellow. Danny King feeling a little bit surrounded here by 3 Australians, and he's got some work to do, but Danny can get round here, can't he?
Oh, Danny's fantastic here. Last week he was brilliant. He looks back to his sort of Foxhall best, so let's hope for a good run for him tonight.
Yeah, certainly Richie Hawkins, the team manager for the Ipswich Witches, will be keen to see that. He's a hard charger. He'll be fired up. He knows what it's all about. So the green light is coming on now. Takes up, what a reaction from King. Absolutely fabulous, nails it into the first corner. Followed through there by Keynan as well. Pickering coming on strong down the back straight initially, round the outside into turns 3 and 4 with Holder there, creeping round the inside. But the Ipswich Witches have hit the front here with sensational start initially from Danny King.
Yeah, great start from the Ipswich boys, but Rue's now getting under a little bit of pressure from Josh Pickering. He's building his speed up on the outside. But this is a fantastic result for Ipswich if it can stay like this.
Yeah, strong start here. Maximum score on the cards. Chris Holder having problems. He's tailed off at the back. He'll be making a few tweaks to his setup. He seems to have some sort of issue. Bike not working as he would wish. But out in front, Danny King's bike is. No holds barred from him. He's down the back straight for the final time. Keynan coming through strongly as well into second place. Big 5-1. The Ipswich Witches responding to the 4-2 by the Sheffield Tigers in the previous race. And they now hold a lead, moving on to 11 points to 7. And the home crowd absolutely chuffed to bits with that. When you consider the way they arrived into the playoffs themselves, into the semi-finals, when Leicester just slipped up at Peterborough. Staggering turn of events that was. And since that time, they really have been on a great run of form. Result of heat number 3 for you. Danny King out in front, smashing ride from him, 3 points. Keynan coming through into second place, 2 points. Josh Pickering back in third, 1 point for him, and Chris Holder misses out in heat number 3. Strong performance here from the Ipswich Witches. Danny King, absolute masterclass, absolutely nails it out of gate number 3.
Yeah, great start there from Danny from gate 3. Lovely little wheelie all the way to the first bend, and then he just checked out. Looked really comfortable in front. But the key thing there for me is that Keynan looked good in second, and we know what Ipswich's top 3 can do. We know what Danny King can do, and Emil and Doyle. But you know, if Keynan can pick up these sorts of points, then they'll be looking good.
Indeed, we will have a change in heat number 4, where Joe Thompson will be replaced by Danyon Hume. We could well see that on a regular basis tonight, where they'll flip-flop their reserve riders. Jason Edwards out, who nicked a point. Danyon Hume, yes, just ridden across in front of our commentary position. He is definitely in here. Joe Thompson missing this one. Jason Doyle out for the first time. He's my man to watch for the Ipswich Witches. And Ollie, Jason Doyle, who won the league back in 2019 when he actually raced against the Ipswich Witches in the grand final that year. So he knows what it's all about and is loving his time here at Foxhall Heath.
Yeah, he's been a good servant to the club here and to British Speedway his whole career, really. And speaking to him before the meeting, he loves racing here, loves this club, and he's desperate to win some more silverware for them.
Yeah, and this week is an opportunity to do that, that's for sure. So Jason Doyle, after that horrifying crash he sustained in Vaughan's GP, is back and roaring away. He's a Grand Prix rider next year as a consequence of winning the GP Challenge in August in Gislaved in Sweden. Good to see him back. He's had a good season, just that injury just holding him back a touch. He's just having a few tweaks to his equipment now.
Yeah, Jason's had a good season. He's he can be happy with that, considering, like you said, the injuries he's had.
Danyon Hume will go off the inside in the blue helmet colour. Jason Edwards off gate number 2 in yellow. Jason Doyle out of gate number 3 in red, and Richard Lawson goes off the outside in white. Lawson is a rider that has rides all over the place, actually. He's a busy man. He rides in 2 leagues, of course, in the UK, in the Championship as well. Guesting here tonight. He guested for the Sheffield Tigers in the semi-final as well, and did a great job at Monmouth Green. So sad that Monmouth Green is closing at the end of this season. They've got a couple of meetings to go, but they are not in the grand final. Heat number 4. Here we go. Green lights on. Tapes are up. Doyle's made a fabulous start from gate number 1. No, excuse me, it's Hume. Oh, Hume's made a great start, and Doyle has just clouted him in the first corner, and both of the Ipswich boys go down there.
Nasty looking crash there. It looked like Doyle was looking to cut back, and maybe, I think Jason Edwards locked, no, not Jason Edwards, it was that Danyon locked up in front of him. And
Danyon Hume pulled a big locker there, didn't he?
Yeah, Doyle clipped his back wheel and over he went, and yeah, nasty crash, straight onto the shoulder, it looked like to me.
So concern here for both of the Ipswich boys. Danyon Hume made the start initially from the inside. Fabulous reaction from Danyon, but then with Jason Doyle trying to cut back, they ran into each other, and as a consequence they both went down.
Yeah.
So concern for those riders.
Yeah, big concern for them, and for Ipswich. You know, if Doyle, you know, if he's potentially injured, huge loss to them.
Yeah, concerning times for the home team. They've got off to a strong start tonight with a 4-point lead after 3 races. Erik is concerned as well, as you can understand. Bikes are just beginning to be pushed back, but riders are still on the track being attended to by the paramedics. We'll bring you the replay of it as soon as we know that both riders are okay. Danyon, that's Jason Doyle set up. We'll take a look at the replays, Ollie, and see exactly what went on.
Doyle lifted heavily from the start there, and he sort of got pinned between 2 riders and looks to cut back, and yeah, as you said, Danyon pulled a huge locker, and Doyle really had nowhere to go but into him. So nasty looking incident.
Yeah, and Danyon's bike's still running there. Let's just take one last look at it.
There we go. Doyle looking to turn back, and his teammates right in front of him. Yeah, he almost stopped in front of Jason. He didn't really have anywhere to go, so nasty incident.
So both riders are on their feet and making their way back. Jim McGregor, our referee, will have a decision to make now. Will he... well, that's actually Danny King. I thought that was Danyon Hume for a moment. It's not. Danyon Hume was slammed into the track pretty hard there, and it was very awkward with the bikes all tied up. And Danyon's bike still running as well. But as I was saying, what way will this go with Jim McGregor, the referee? Will he deem that Danyon Hume was the cause of that? We're hearing it now. It's confirmed, all 4 back in the rerun. I think it's a little bit fortunate for Danyon Hume there. You could argue that Danyon Hume was the reason why that happened.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. And quite often as well on first bends, when 2 riders of the same team collide, it results in an exclusion. So yeah, I would say Ipswich got away with one there.
You need a bit of good fortune sometimes, and they may just have got it. Oh, that's a heavy fall, isn't it?
It's a heavy fall on top of his teammate. He landed on him.
Yeah, and Danyon just slammed into the track as well. We'll try and get some reaction for you from the pit area as soon as we can. We're getting it all lined up as we're furiously working away. But there's a reaction from the captain, Danny King, and the team manager.
Good to see Danyon's up.
OK, let's get some reaction now. Let's pop down to Abby because Richie Hawkins is with her.
Richie, a really nasty looking accident. First of all, are both Danyon and Doyle okay?
Yeah, Doyley's fine. Danyon's still getting checked out, so yeah, we'll sweat on him for a bit.
Decision, all 4 back, right decision?
Yeah, I haven't seen it on the replay, but it's good for us. So yeah, I haven't seen the replay to see what happened to Danyon, but yeah, I'm just glad Doyley's all right, and then we just hope Danyon is.
Before that moment, though, Richie, a good start, a 5-1 in Heat 3.
Yeah, brilliant Heat 3. The boys look good. Track looked tricky in Heat 2, but the boys in Heat 3 made it look nice and smooth. So, yeah, if Danny can keep trapping like that, he'll be in for a good night.
Richie, thank you.
Thanks very much, Abby. And a bit of good fortune, I think, there for Ipswich Witches. That could very easily have gone the other way. Everybody having to be a little bit patient. We've had a few restarts tonight already, but I think that's an indication of the tension and nerves that are out there. And Danyon just trying awfully hard, made a mistake in his first ride in heat number 2, and certainly did get a little bit wrong when he went into the first corner there, but that's done and dusted now. They've just got to prepare themselves for the rerun. Danny King just rushing out with a bike there, just to make sure it's okay. Not sure that's his own bike or whether that's Danyon's, but nonetheless, Danny just getting involved there in the preparations for this restaging of heat number 4. Whether there's an issue there with the way it's running, but clearly some concern over the way that bike is performing. Tense start here, Ollie. No real surprise with the championship on the line.
No, we've already seen some very tight first bends, which you'd expect to see in a grand final, and you know everyone's committed. And as we said before the programme, we've seen some excitement from Danyon already. Two rides in, and he's been very exciting.
He's been the entertainer so far, that's for sure. But I love him because he's always... And that's why the crowd like him as well, because he's a real try, and they can see that he's always doing his very best. He's a jovial chap. He was out in Torrent actually enjoying a weekend at the Grand Prix. Bumped into him at the airport. Had a lot of running around to do yesterday, or on Sunday, excuse me, just to get himself ready for tonight. Probably was a little relieved that we are paused and just 24 hours later than ordinarily we would have been racing. We are hearing that Danyon is actually having some medical attention. He's gone off to the medical room just to be checked over. So right now, this race won't get going quite as quickly as we expected. There will be a slightly longer delay. Jason Doyle, good to see him up and about. Tough customer there. So instead, just a little concerned as well. Drama here, you know. Drama here right from the get-go tonight. Emil Sayfutdinov coming down in the first corner slightly awkwardly. A rerun there. All sorts of drama going on in heat number 2 when 4-2 was on the card to the home team, and then it switched round with the Sheffield Tigers coming through. Big 5-1 for the home team in heat number 3. So we've had a bit of everything so far.
We have, yeah. And you can see it. You can see in the pits there what Simon's trying to do is push this heat along. I mean, he's while Danyon's being checked over, he's almost trying to push this race ahead. He's getting his riders ready and telling them to, you know, almost pressure the sort of race to start, because
the psychology going on here.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And why not?
Well, yeah, absolutely. He has every right to do that. He wants his riders up there ready to go. Will Danyon Hume be released in time, or will the Ipswich Witches have to switch around here?
Here he comes. Here he comes, jogging into picture.
Fit as a fiddle.
Yeah.
Even though he's been upside down, inside out, and been clouted by his own teammate. There we go. But that's Speedway for you. Let's get down to Abbey.
Steady. I'm actually trying to chase Steady down. He looked really serious tonight. He's full of drama now. He's speaking to Phil Morris, obviously unhappy, and I'll try and get a word with him to get his thoughts on everything. But it is a tense evening, obviously, so much on the line. Steady. Can I just grab a quick word? Tense moments, a bit unhappy with the situation. Can you tell us more?
Sorry?
Just tell us a little bit of the situation, because you look like you're slightly moving the heat forward.
What was happening, obviously, we couldn't get anywhere near the medical room, so I was just asking what he was getting checked out for, whether it was head-related or what, because we haven't got any information. So, yeah, it's tense. It's a playoff final, isn't it?
All right, thanks, Steady.
The second time of asking. Heat number 4 for you. Danny Hume will go off the inside in blue. Jason Edwards out of gate number 2 in yellow. Jason Doyle, gate number 3 in red. And Richard Lawson off the outside in white. And Richard Lawson has had to be very patient here. He was clear of all the shenanigans that went on in the first corner. So was Edwards. So the Tigers have been raring to go. Simon Stead certainly is. Big night of Speedway. So desperately wants to win this league title. They came very, very close last year. There'll be races denying them in a classic final second leg at Allerton 12 months ago. So racing about to get underway once again here. It's been a stop-start evening so far, that's for sure. Here we go then, green lights on.
takes up. Hume's made another smashing start from the inside. Pickering's there as well. Look at Pickering go round the outside. Fantastic stuff from him. He hits the front going down the back straight. Here comes Doyle now up into second place. Brilliant ride from Jason Doyle with Danyon Hume back into third place. Excuse me, it's not Pickering, it's Richard Lawson. Lawson's the one that's hit the front. Smashing ride from him.
Yeah, fantastic start from Lawson again. He's now under huge pressure from Doyle. Doyle tries the inside, coming into turn one.
Done it!
Great move from Jason. Pushes him wide.
Lawson stays on there. Yeah, there's a terrific battle going on for third and fourth, but Danyon Hume is hung on there. Brilliant stuff from him. But out in front, Doyle's a country mile out in front. Lawson a little untidy there. You've got to say he's hanging on to his motorbike, but they're down the back straight for the final time. Hume coming on strong as well, but this will be a handy third place. Doyle wins comfortably in the end. It's a 4-2 to back up the 5-1 in the previous race. Richard Lawson initially hit the front there. Brilliant round the first corner. Doyle didn't get away quite as well as he would have liked, but once he got up and running, very quick.
Yeah, you could see from early on in that race that Lawson was going to be under immense pressure. And yeah, Doyle forced his way through, and great win for him.
Result of heat number 4, Doyle out in front 3 points, Richard Lawson back in second place 2 points for him, Danyon Hume back in third 1 point, and Jason Edwards failing to score in heat number 4. We'll see it again because this was once again another action-packed race in heat number 4.
Yeah, great start from Lawson once again from gate 4. That's 2 in a row for him. Worth pointing out, Danyon made a great one from gate 1 as well, but Doyle managed to get that cut back this time and avoid his teammate, and then set sail after Lawson. And here he comes now. Doyle dives up the inside. You can see Lawson having to come off the gas. Doyle pushes him out, and Lawson actually almost hits the airbag. So you know, tough move from Doyle, but you know, you expect that from him. Tough but fair.
The clean move, no contact, and the door was slightly ajar, and Jason Doyle does not need an invitation. He was diving through, and he won in style. So right now, let's get back down to Abby in the pits.
Cal, thank you. Well, there's so much tension in these pits tonight. Lots of people running about, and then other people trying to keep a calm composure. Someone that is so calm, even though he rides so aggressively, of course, is Jason Doyle. Ipswich Witches have a 6-point lead after 4 heats. And any questions that you've got to Calvin and, of course, to Ollie as well, remember to use that hashtag. It's Ipshy. We'll continue with the action here in Foxhall after this. We're joined by Carl Howarth, who is captain of the Sheffield Tigers. Carl, I'm just thinking about our last interview in rain in Sheffield, but you got the job done in the semi-finals, and it's a very different situation tonight. It's the grand final, and we've got dry conditions.
Yeah, it's a lot better, obviously. It got pushed back a day because, obviously, the weather forecast last night wasn't the greatest, and from what I've been told, it's been the right decision. So, look, it's a new week, and it's the business end of the season week, isn't it? The grand final, and it's been one of them years for us, and we've got to the final, so yeah, we're ready for it.
And again, how is everyone feeling? How are you managing to garner that kind of team spirit?
Yeah, it's calm. Everyone's calm. Everyone's happy, and there's not a lot of nerves knocking about at the minute. So everyone's looking forward to it. I think we've had some really good meetings before the playoffs, and then obviously coming into the playoffs with a really good display at Wolves gives a really good boost. And when it was raining the other day at Sheffield, no one got down. There's no one messing about. We was up, and there's a lot of confidence about, and we wanted to win, and we cracked on with it, and we got the job done. So there's a good bit of there's a good atmosphere in the team, and there's some good confidence flowing about, and there's nothing better than that coming into a final.
Would you say that the confidence really came from that win against Wolves, and you were able to carry that forward then into your home leg?
Yeah, obviously, I think, admitting I don't think we ever thought we would come away with a lead like that from Wolverhampton, just how strong they've been all year. I don't think they've lost, have they, all year at home, if I'm correct. So to come away and do that, and we knew we needed to have a dominant display at home from the start, and we did. So there's, like I said, there's good confidence, and that's what it's about.
As you were saying about, you know, the weather conditions didn't faze everyone got stuck in. Actually, just over your shoulder is Chris Holder. He was a perfect example of that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great. He was trapping, but also when he didn't, he come from the back and he did it with class. So it was when you see your teammates doing that, it always makes the riders more confident. It's good atmosphere in the team when you do that. And so yeah, all the mechanics are knocking about, all helping each other, and everyone's having a laugh. So yeah, we're ready.
And you got so close, Carl, I don't want to remind you of this, but, you know, just 12 months ago, so this is the second playoff for the Tigers, and just pipped to the post by Bellevue. How can you ensure it's not the case this year and you're spraying the champagne?
Yeah, it's a new year, isn't it, and a new final. So, look, it's a totally different team, and we want to go one better, so that's the plan.
One final question, because I'm also seeing Robert Lambert's superstar guest, and he could create such an impact for you all tonight.
He already has, I think, obviously, when he come in at Wolves, and then obviously Sheffield at home the other day. Obviously he's bringing that classness to the team and that experience. So yeah, he's done a great job so far, and he's got 2 meetings for us. Hopefully can do it again.
And how are you feeling personally?
Yeah, good. Ready to rock and roll.
Go for it tonight. Good luck.
Thank you.
Special discounts on all the Emil Sayfutdinov and Doyle range as well. So go see the team at the track shop whilst we're in that facility. Rerun Productions opposite on the concourse there, still in course all throughout the season. Knockout Cup 2 legs is available. You can pre-order the grand finale. That will be a 2-leg do-this production here at Foxhall and Sheffield on Thursday. So you can pre-order that one. Hopefully all those DVDs in your collection. So Rerun Productions up there just inside the turnstile enclosure and in the track shop. Hopefully please see you tonight.
Welcome back to Foxhall for the first leg of this Premiership Grand Final. After 4 heats, it is the Witches who have a 6-point lead. Before we resume with the action, let's get an update on Danyon Hume. He's with Dave.
Danyon, really nasty incident there in Heat 4. What happened, and is there any damage?
It's a bit bad and bruised at the moment. Just one of those accidents, first bend bunching, and yeah, I'm just glad to be able to walk away from that.
Good start for Ipswich, 6 points in front, going well so far.
Exactly, yeah, just got to keep digging deep. It's going to be a long road, obviously, going to Sheffield on Thursday, but we need to build our points up here and hopefully go there with a healthy lead.
Body all okay? You got manual rides to come tonight?
Yeah, obviously that was a reserve switch in Heat 4, but yeah, I think we've got 3 more rides, and yeah, the boys are getting the bike ready now, and yeah, we just need to get the job done tonight.
Thanks, Danyon. Good luck. Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
So riders back out on track for heat number 5. Good to see that Danyon's okay. He was able to take his part in the rerun of heat number 4 as well and picked up a valuable point. Ipswich Witches going along very nicely indeed with a 6-point lead at this stage. Line up for heat number 5 is Carl Howarth from the inside in the yellow. Gate number 2 in red is Danny King. Gate number 3 in white is Robert Lambert, and Keynan will go from the outside in blue. Robert Lambert kept Emil Sayfutdinov pretty honest in their opening gambit, didn't he?
He did. He looked very quick indeed. It's the closest I've seen anyone to Emil around here, so be interesting to see what he does here if he hits the front.
Yeah, I think there's every chance he'll clear off into the distance, in truth. Danny King will be trying his very best to keep him at the back if at all possible, but right now Howarth and Lambert, a handy pairing for the Tigers. No tactical substitutes allowed in the grand finals. They are 6 points behind. In the regular season you can, when you go 6 points behind the leading team. Not so in the playoffs. You've got to work hard for your points now. Here we go. Number 5 takes up now. Great reaction from both of the Sheffield Tigers. They fire themselves into the front. Lambert's around the outside. Howarth made a super start as well on the inside gate. Danny King
find the outside line, but has gone to the back with Keynan momentarily. But the Tigers with Lambert out in front and Howarth in second place, Ollie, looking set for a 5-1.
Yeah, great start from Robert Lambert and from Kyle Howarth, and as predicted, Robert's checked out in front. Kyle's looking comfortable in the second. Danny at the moment, he's making no impression on him at all.
Danny King trying everything he knows, but Kyle Howarth riding strongly in second place. Lambert, as you rightly say, is a country mile as he goes into the last lap in front. The battle for second and third is important. Can King do anything about it? But no, just running out of momentum out of turn number 2 on the last lap. Lambert wins the race very comfortably indeed. Half the length of the straight, but Howarth coming through as well. Big response from the Tigers there in heat number 5 with their first 5-1 of the evening. Yes, just a couple of points in it now. 16 points to 14. Result of heat number 5 for you. Lambert, very impressive. 3 points for him. Kyle Howarth coming through in second place, 2 points. Danny King, 1 point for third place. And Keynan fails to score in heat number 5. No real surprise to see Lambert out in front here, Ollie, but nonetheless very impressive. And Howarth hanging on in second.
Yeah, really good start from Robert. I wasn't sure what to expect from gate 3 because Doyle struggled off it a couple of times and it was only one race ago, so I thought that made that gate even better for me. And once he got in front, he cleared off. I mean, you can see his bike there drives all the way to the first bend. Kyle, he's strong on the inside, and they both were well, Kyle was relatively untroubled. I expected Danny to pressure him a little bit more, to be honest.
It just looked like the run around the outside in the first and second corners looks a little bit awkward. He tried it a couple of times but couldn't quite make it work. That man, though, once he had hit the front, was terrific and looked very accomplished indeed. No surprise there. Heat number 6. Riders appearing. They're just coming out now. Important 5-1 that for Sheffield. When they'd slipped 6 points behind, they responded strongly there.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that means Steady would have been loving that, and it's pulled them right back into it. You know, when you like you said, if you can't use tax subs in the grand final, then you know you need some 5-1s like that. You can't let people get away.
Exactly. So right now the Sheffield Tigers are hanging right in there. They'll be more than satisfied with just a couple of points behind. Foxhall here is a tricky track. It's a technically demanding track. No doubt that if they can keep it to single figures tonight or even manage to draw here, they will be favourites in the second leg at their home track on Thursday. Tense times. Simon Stead just having a chat there, or a fairly forthright conversation in truth, with his captain Kyle Howarth.
Give it more throttle, that was, wasn't it, I think?
Heat number 6, the lineup for you. Sayfutdinov from the inside in red. Richard Lawson out of gate number 2 in white. Erik out of gate number 3 in blue. And Connor Mountain off the outside in yellow. Yes, please try harder. Give it more throttle. Stretch the throttle cable.
I know that hand symbol. I've seen it before.
And you've been working very well together as a joint team manager of Team Great Britain. You must be very proud of the performance of the boys. A gold and 2 silvers in the last 3 years. Fantastic, isn't it? Brilliant run.
The team management has been top draw.
Top draw, fantastic. Yeah, well, it has been. You've been there and you came so very, very close in Wrocław, of course, at the end of July in the Speedway World Cup. It was nail-biting stuff, that's for sure. And tonight is, as I say, just 16 points to 14, 2 points advantage to the home team. Here we go, heat number 6, tapes are up, away we go into the first corner. Lawson makes a good jump, but Sayfutdinov makes the better of the run to the back. But that from Lawson, that's a fantastic move from him. Fantastic move down the back straight to get a better of Emil Sayfutdinov. Not many people do that, Ollie.
No, great first bend from Richard Lawson. Now he's going to find himself under all sorts of pressure. There we go. Cut back from Emil there and forces his way up the inside of Richard.
Fabulous move there to repay the compliment by Emil Sayfutdinov. Richard Lawson just making him work a little harder for that. Erik is back in third place. Handy third place for him with Connor Mountain on fire, literally on fire down the back straight. You don't see that too often. Like fireworks going off there with Connor Mountain's bike. Out in front, we saw some fireworks earlier on from Sayfutdinov. He's out in front, he's going to remain unbeaten round this last corner out of turn number 4. Connor Mountain's bike still on fire on the centre green. All sorts of drama going on here tonight in the grand final opening leg. But quite sure what's gone on there, but that looked really dodgy indeed for Connor Mountain. But they've extinguished the blaze on his bike. Emil Sayfutdinov completely unaware of what was going on behind him, but nonetheless a hard-fought victory for him. Had to get the better of Richard Lawson, who had put him under pressure early doors. Sayfutdinov out in front, 3 points for him. Richard Lawson back in second place, 2 points. Erik back in third place, and the man that was literally on fire down the back straight, Connor Mountain, fails to score in heat number 6. Well, we're seeing a bit of everything there tonight, but smashing racing between Lawson and Sayfutdinov here.
Yeah, these first couple of laps were great. Brilliant start from Emil. He pushes wide on the first bend. Then you see Lawson cuts back and actually passes Emil, which is something I didn't expect to see tonight, not from Richard but from anyone. And Emil then chases him down. You see him working the outside there, cuts back, and almost does the same move back to Lawson. Emil's going to be a tough man to beat tonight.
Indeed he is, going along nicely so far, but he's going to be a difficult man to beat. He's been in sparkling form. We can actually get some reaction for you now. I do believe that Dave...
Carol, big 5-1 for you in your previous ride with Robert, and we saw you have a conversation with Simon Stead afterwards. Looked like you're all pumped up for it.
Yeah, the first, I don't think, I had a couple of tough decisions against us early on, but they pulled a bit of a gap. We got a 5-1, pulled a bit of momentum back. So look, we know it's going to be close. We're working hard, and the track's a little bit tricky tonight. I think with the weather it had last night, it's made the track a little bit grippier than we thought. So we've actually all put a sprocket on and trying to make the bike a little bit smoother because it's quite bumpy out there. So I think it's trying to get the bike to ride the best you can basically at the moment.
You watched that clash back between Jason Doyle and Danyon Hume, obviously expecting your home rider to be excluded there.
Yeah, poor decision, but that's how it goes. We need to get on with it.
Nice start, keep it going, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, big night. Track is a little bit tricky in that first corner. We've seen even home riders just struggling with it a touch. To think that will settle down as the evening goes on. Chris Holder out here for his second ride. Didn't look great in his first one. I'm sure they've made a few tweaks to the setup coming in here for his second ride. Jason Doyle out here for his. This is a good lineup here. Home team 4 points up after 6 races. Sheffield Tigers won't be panicking. This is all right, I would suggest. They're going along okay.
Yeah, so far so good. If they can keep it relatively close to this, I'm sure Simon will be happy with that.
Line up for heat number 7, Chris Holder from the inside in white, Jason Doyle out of gate number 2 in red, Josh Pickering gate number 3 in yellow, and Danyon Hume off the outside in blue. As I say, Holder and Pickering have actually clicked together quite nicely this season in the short time actually that they've been together, and Holder in particular has been piling on the points. Started poorly, but he's a class act, Holder. I expect him to bounce back.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'd expect the same. I think this will be a key race for Sheffield. If Holder can show some good form here, then it bodes well for the rest of the night.
Absolutely. Jason Doyle, like Emil Sayfutdinov, is a tough man to beat here. Didn't get away that well in his first ride, but once he got going, he was able to fire himself to the front, got the better of Lawson, and cleared off out in front. Made light of the conditions, which are a little bumpy, but nonetheless perfectly raceable. Here we go. Heat number 7. Tapes are up. Doyle's made a lovely start out of gate number 2. He fires himself to the front. Coming through into second place is Pickering, actually, with Holder now relegated to the back. Round the outside is Danyon Hume having a right go here, chopping back to the inside, coming on strong in second place. Pickering having to work very hard. Look at Hume going, Holder's in trouble at the back. Hume! Whoa, what a move from him. Coming through, he's a busy man tonight, and he's riding out of his skin here. Coming through to join it. Team made up in front. Ipswich Witches going, oh, Hume out of shape.
Oh, great ride there from Danyon. They're both out of shape. You wouldn't want to follow Danyon Hume to the end, would you?
Has chopped up quite badly there. He's having to hang on. Meanwhile, Doyle's out in front. front, cleared off. Pickering, can he do anything about Hume? They've got out of shape once again. They're down the back straight for the last time. Pickering coming on strong. Dives to the inside. Hume's gone down. Shame for him. That squares it all up. Goes from a potential 5-1 to a 3-all. Bit of good fortune there for the Sheffield Tigers. Danyon Hume, you can't fault the effort, but just ran out of strength, ran out of puff there late on in the race. Really was dramatic stuff. It has chopped up quite extensively, and particularly in that first corner. Doyle comfortable out in front. And looked for so long there that Hume had done the business to come through into second place to give them another 5-1. A result for you of heat number 7. Dramatic stuff once again in heat number 7 is Jason Doyle was out in front, 3 points for him. Danyon Hume, well, he actually fell off, so he wasn't in second place. I'll bring that result to you once again. It was Jason Doyle out in front. Josh Pickering was in second, Chris Holder third, and Danyon Hume failed to score.
Great start there from the Ipswich boys. You can see Doyle out in front from gate 1. And Danyon just getting his back wheel into the dirt and driving around the outside of that first corner. And then here you see him going deep on the outside of Josh. I see Josh leading the race here, and Danyon goes in wide again, cuts back and passes him up the inside. It was a great move from Danyon, and I mean, fair play to him. He was wild at times, but you cannot fault the commitment.
There we see Danyon Hume just slipping off the bike. We will just bring you the official result for you, with Hume actually not scoring points there. Here we go then. Jason Doyle did win the race, 3 points for him. Josh Pickering coming through in second place, Chris Holder in third, and Danyon Hume failing to score in heat number 7. It's a tight match, and as I say, that was a bit of good fortune there for the Sheffield Tigers, with Hume just slipping off the bike.
Yeah, it did Sheffield a massive favour, really. I mean, it's kept the score a lot tighter. I've been impressed with Danyon tonight. He's wild, but he's enthusiastic, and he gets stuck in, and it's great to see.
It is indeed. Right, let's get down to Abby. She's in the pits.
Calvin, thank you. Well, just over my shoulder, Richie Hawkins and Danyon Hume in close conversation. I wonder if Richie's just telling him to calm things down slightly, but he's been in the thick of the action tonight, has young Danyon Hume. OK, we're going to take a quick break. For all your questions to both Calvin Tatum and Ollie Allen, use the hashtag #IpsShe, and we'll get them to them later on in the programme on Discovery+. OK, Heat 8 coming up.
Freddie Lingman searching for his first world title. It's been around a long time, Freddie. Here we go then. Final in Torrent. Which way is it going to go now? The green light's on. Takes her up. Smarslick's made it. What a start from Smarslick. Doesn't miss it. Freddie Lingman coming through in second place. Slamming the door shut on Leon Madsen, but Smarslick's away. Freddie's got lots of work to do from there. Leon Madsen now coming up the inside, pushing hard in third place. But Smarslick nailed the start there on the inside gate.
Bartosz Smarslick doing everything right from the inside gate. It's a fitting way for him to secure his 4th World Championship if he can stay there. Oh, look at him wheeling out front. He has got that thing hooking up and going quick. Lingman in second place under pressure from Madsen, but that will be irrelevant. Smarslick out front, looking good.
Smarslick now just a lap away for his 4th World Championship. Leon Madsen now coming through, pushing hard in third place, trying to get the better of Lingman. He has. Lingman responds, comes through to second place. But out of the last corner, Bartosz Smarslick is a 4-time world champion. What a night for him. After all the drama 2 weeks ago in Boyens. Wow, what a way to respond. Back-to-back SGP World Championships for for that man. Incredible scenes here in Torrent.
Tell you what, he did it in style, didn't he? How fast. That would have been a terrible 2 weeks leading up to this meeting. And look how he's responded.
Absolutely right, Chris. He's been through agony. He was crying. He was desperate after Voyens. Been DQ'd there. But he's come back here 2 weeks later. And he's just proven to everybody, I am the man. So there we see there's an 8-point gap with 158 points to 150, 125 points, just 2 points ahead of Jack Holder, who will be bitterly disappointed with 4th place.
Medale już są, czas na puchar.
And the winner trophy is
Jean-Baptiste Lay coming forward now, Motorsport Series leader of WBD. Joint presentation between the rights holder and the FIM to the World Champion, the World Championship trophy. Fantastic. Doesn't get any better than that.
Kelvin Bartosz-Marzyk, 4-time world champion. He's won 5 of the 9 Grand Prix he competed this year. What makes him so special? Why is he the most consistent? Why is he the best?
Well, he's hugely naturally gifted rider. We saw that when he burst on the scene as a teenager. You just sensed right from the get-go he was somebody who had a special talent. I think he works very hard. He's an intelligent man. He's close to his equipment. He's got a very good team around him. And he has an affinity with the machine, with tracks, that a lot of guys I don't think have, and they have to work a lot harder at that. As I say, he comes to him naturally, but he has a sense of determination and will to win, an enjoyment of winning, even when he's under immense pressure, that I think is, well, it's just wonderful to see, actually, and he can do things, and the balance on the bike at times is just absolutely remarkable. So, yeah, he's got all those ingredients.
Halfway through this first leg of the grand final, the score after 7 heats, well, Tigers are keeping it close, just 4 points in it, 23-19 to the Witches as it stands. If you're into your cycling, then you're going to enjoy the next few days. You've got the Grand Piemonte that's on Eurosport 2 live Thursday at 1:50. The cycling from Il Lombardia, you can enjoy that Saturday 9:15, also Eurosport 2, as well as the Paris Tours, and that will be on Eurosport 2 Sunday lunchtime at 2:10. Let's hear from Emil Sayfutdinov now. He's unbeaten after his first 2 heats. He's chatting to Dave.
Yes, Emil, 2 rides, 2 wins so far, but hard work, a very tough first bend with Robert Lambert in your first race.
You know, it's like this final, you know, which one is, you know, it's a little bit, some hits will be more harder because, you know, it's everyone want to win. And, yeah, so it was a tough first meeting, but we changed some few things, and then this was going way better, you know. So I hope, you know, we're scoring good points today.
And a good move to get the better of Richard Lawson there in your second ride.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Team as a whole, happy with the performance so far?
You know, it's like going good, you know, we just, we need to, like, a little bit more points, but it's, you know, it's like I said, you know, it's final, which one, you know, is both team, you know, is want to win. So yeah, we just try to keep focused, you know, it's about next one, and then we'll see. We're looking forward, you know.
Thank you, Emil. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Line up for heat number 8. Jason Edwards will go from the inside gate in yellow. Joe Thompson out for his second ride of the night. Gate number 2 in blue. Carl Howarth out of gate number 3 in white, and off the outside in red is Erik Rees. So say we're at the midway point of the first leg here, heat number 8. 4 points in it. It's tight, and I would suggest that Sheffield Tigers will be relatively pleased with that, hanging tough, because recently they haven't been quite as good here at Foxhall.
No, like you say, they'll be pleased with that so far. If they can keep it like this, that'd be perfect to go to Sheffield with.
Indeed it will. Jason Edwards there picked up a point earlier on
failed to score on his second ride. Joe Thompson out for his second ride here. Has to take 3. Danyon Hume may then take the remainder of his rides, but they've made a switch earlier on. We were due to see Thompson out in heat number 4, but Hume came in that time. Here we go then, heat number 8. Green light is on, the tapes are up. Edwards makes a good start from the outside. Erik has also made a smashing start, and he swoops around the outside, but Edwards has responded strongly there to get his nose in front once again as they fire themselves into turns 3 and 4. Here comes Thompson as well. Thompson's going along nicely. Oh my goodness gracious me. All sorts of problems there. The Howarth has gone down.
Yeah, strange crash for Howarth there, like almost slipped off the back coming into the bend. But Edwards is out in front, looking comfortable.
Indeed he is. Jason Edwards riding very strongly indeed. Forceful on the first lap. Disappointment for Howarth, but gotta say, with Jason Edwards out in front, this is all right for the Sheffield Tigers. They'll remain just 4 points behind. Can Erik do anything about Edwards out in front? They're down the back straight for the last time, and Jason Edwards has done a terrific job here, hanging on for the last time in the last corner, and he picks up a vital win there for the Tigers. Gotta say, that was huge for the Tigers, Ollie.
Yeah, massive result there for Jason Edwards, especially when his teammates fallen off. And to be honest, you look at that heat 8 and you think Kyle Howarth has got to be the favourite for it, really, especially after his last ride.
Indeed. Just the 4 points, 26 points to 22. Smashing ride from Jason Edwards, away sharply, 3 points for him. Erik back in second place, 2 points. Joe Thompson, 1 point in third, and Kyle Howarth getting in trouble there and failed to score. But nonetheless, the Sheffield Tigers keeping it tight here. Howarth just pushing the bike back, nothing too much problem there, just got it wrong. But there's no doubt that the Sheffield Tigers are just keeping this nice and tight here.
Yeah, great start there from Erik from gate 4. He possibly could have come all the way across and shut the door, but he left it open, and Jason Edwards did a clever line around the first bend. Here we go, we see it again. Jason stays tight in the yellow helmet there, and coming off the bend just drives up the inside of Erik and takes the lead.
You said he was a technical rider, and that was a nice technical move, wasn't it? Because he, as you say, he remained composed, he didn't panic.
Yeah, and there's some panic right there. Coming off the back of the bike, coming into the bend. And I'm not really sure what happened to Kyle there, but he just sort of, I think he'd lost the back wheel there and overturned it coming in.
Yeah, just got it wrong. Back tyre, just letting go on him. And the bike just basically almost going into reverse, which is quite uncomfortable. But he bit the dust, but his teammate, fortunately for him, was out in front. 26 points to 22. It's going quite nicely here for the Sheffield Tigers. Ipswich Witches have been in such strong form of late, but we did mention before we came on air, chatting amongst ourselves, that both teams are in good form. This lineup, this patched up Sheffield Tigers team, have been looking really good, and it's proving tonight. Got to say, with Robert Lambert and the guests that have come in, never easy, is it, when you've got to literally throw riders into your 1 to 7, but they've gelled well.
Yeah, they have, I mean, Robert Lambert, this track does suit him. You'd expect him to go well here. Simon said he was fantastic at Wolverhampton in the semi-final. So, he's a great addition to any side at any time.
Yeah, genuine world-class rider these days. Top 6 runner again in the World Championship. Gate number 9, the line-up for you. Richard Lawson off the inside in white. Keynan out of gate number 2 in blue. Gate number 3 in yellow is Connor Mountain. And Danny King will go from the outside in red. Ipswich Witches, Richie Hawkins, the team manager, will want to see his team pull away. They had an opportunity for a 5-1 earlier on, but Danyon Hume just slipped up. That could be costly. All these race points, you don't want to throw points away, really, do you?
No, not at all. And like you say, Ipswich have made a couple of mistakes, so I think Rich will be a little bit frustrated at the moment, and Simon, on the other hand, will be feeling quite happy with this score.
Indeed he will. Opportunity here for Danny King and Keynan. They combined well earlier on, but then slipped up in their second outing. So there's no doubt about it that they do ride nicely, but Richard Lawson is a hard charger. He's picking up 2 second places so far and had the temerity to overtake Emil Sayfutdinov here. I mean, there was shock horror all around the stadium. Here we go. Heat number 9 tapes her up. King's made a smashing start. Lawson's also there alongside him as they enter the first corner. Down the back straight for the first time. Keynan coming through into 3rd place. Good move from him. Danny King's got to hang on here because Lawson's there ready to pounce. Just about gets his nose back in front. Conditions not easy. Big battle out in front.
Yeah, great first bend there from Danny King to take the lead, but like you say, he's made a couple of mistakes and Richard's not letting him pull away, and he comes into turn 1, and this is where the track's been a little bit tricky. You can see it's bumpy as they go across that corner there.
Oh, Danny King still out in front. Richard Lawson there lurking in 2nd place. Keynan back in 3rd place. Heat advantage on the cards here for the home team. Connor Mountain is out of the picture at the back. King's ridden strongly here. He's responded well after just picking up a 3rd place last time. Super start from the outside gate. Does the business in heat number 9. 6-point lead now for the home team. They needed it. They'll want to get it to double figures if they can. They know that the Sheffield Tigers are immensely strong at Allerton. And on Thursday night, where we'll see them go head-to-head once again. But for Danny King and Keynan, a very handy result for them in heat number 9. Danny King out in front, 3 points for him. Richard Lawson doing a solid job back in 2nd place, 2 points. Keynan in 3rd, 1 point for him, and Connor Mountain misses out in heat number 9. Important result there for the home team, because Sheffield Tigers had a little bit of good fortune a couple of times with Howarth slipping off in heat number 8 when the teammate was out in front, and Hume, of course, which denied the home team a 5-1 earlier on.
Yeah, great start there from Danny King from gate 4. Him and Lawson almost got the corner at the same time, and Lawson tried to run him up, but Danny was there, and after that he got a little bit of trouble there, drifted wide. It did look for a second like Lawson might put him under pressure. There we are again. You can see Danny King coming into the corner. You can see how rutty the track is. You can see his bike sort of bouncing and hopping across the track, and him showing good control of it.
Yep. So right now it's 30 points to 24, and let's make our way back down to Erik.
Jason, how delighted were you on that last heat?
I think it's more relief than anything, to be honest. I think I think the occasion and everything, obviously, my first playoff final is for myself, but obviously it's a big deal for Sheffield, and we know that. So, yeah, it's nice to get that out of the way, and I can breathe a little bit now, and hopefully I can just put a few more of them on the board.
Because there's a lot of sort of pumped up aggression with the Tigers boys, you know, Pico and Carl Howarth. You just see them coming out and they're like really geeing you all up. How does that affect you?
Yeah, it's a big deal for everyone, and we know, like, being at Sheffield every week, the crowd's unreal. So, yeah, I mean, it's a big thing, and like I say, yeah, Pico, Robert, everyone, they're into it.
Ollie Allen says that you are a great technical rider. This is a technical track and it's suiting you really well.
Yeah, like halfway through I thought I might sign for Ipswich, and then Sheffield picked me up, and it's all been a bit of a whirlwind. But yeah, no, if you're in the front, it's a lot easier.
That's an interesting little soundbite. Go well.
Perfect, thank you.
So he nearly came here to Foxhall, but Sheffield beat them to the punch. He's clearly enjoying himself up in South Yorkshire. Now, Chris Holder hasn't had the night he was looking for. Picked up a point, but was fortunate to do so last time. He was out the back again, failed to score on his first time. Sheffield Tigers are in this, they're 6 points back, but Chris Holder has been instrumental in their performances of late. Interesting to see how it goes here.
Looks like a new bike for Chris in this one. I mean, he has struggled in his first 2 and hasn't looked comfortable, and it's unlike him. So hopefully, new bike will bring him a bit more luck and a bit more speed.
Line up for heat number 10, Josh Pickering on the inside in yellow, Erik Riss out of gate number 2 in blue, Chris Holder, gate number 3 in white, and Emil Sayfutdinov going from the outside in red. Now, Emil Sayfutdinov is going to be very difficult to beat here, and if he hits the front, I would suggest it's all about a 3-all. Can Pickering and Holder then just pack the minor places to keep Erik Riss at bay? That may well be a plan if it doesn't go, if Holder or Pickering don't hit the front in that first turn. Your thoughts, Ollie?
Yeah, totally agree. I think if...
please, you do. Thank you very much.
Totally agree, yeah. Yeah, if you're Sheffield and you get a 3-3 out of this, I think you're happy.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Sayfutdinov is a hard man to beat. Pickering, a hard charger, has been in good form.
wasn't initially when he went to the Sheffield Tigers, having left the Kings Lynn Stars, but has settled nicely now and is really beginning to pick up some very useful points indeed. Heat number 10, green light is on. Away we go into the first corner. Erik Riss has made a lovely start there. Around the outside is Emil Sayfutdinov, looking good at this early stage for the home team. Pickering going wide there, Holder once again struggling there. Look at Pickering chopping back to the inside, trying to put lots of pressure on Erik Riss in second place. Sayfutdinov is pulling away. Pickering round the outside, charges down the back straight. Brilliant stuff from Pickering.
Great ride there for Pico to go around the outside of Riss when it looked like a 5-1 for Ipswich was on the cards. Sheffield certainly don't need that at the moment.
Super ride from him. Chris Holder struggling out the back, hasn't settled tonight, that's for sure. It's a shame, but Pickering just limiting the damage here. Sayfutdinov charging on in front, no problems for him. Pickering now settling nicely in second place with Erik Riss adrift in third, and Holder still not really being able to get amongst it. Out of the last corner, Sayfutdinov moves on to 9 points. 3 out of 3 for him. Looking like he could go through the card tonight. Imperious form once again from Emil Sayfutdinov. Erik Riss, that vital third place, a 4-2. And they moved on to 34 points to 26. The result of heat number 10 for you. Sayfutdinov 3 points out in front. Pickering, good ride from Pickering there, 2 points for the Sheffield Tigers. Erik Riss back in third place, 1 point. Chris Holder not having the night he was looking for, failing to score in heat number 10. 8-point lead now, Ollie, and they'll be relatively pleased now. All of a sudden the home team beginning to pull away a little bit, settling the nerves down.
Yeah, 2 4-2s in a row. They're starting to edge clear. Here we see great start from Erik Riss from gate 2 to clamp Pico on the curb and allow his teammate to run around the outside. And as in his previous races, Emil's looked so fast in front. It really does look like if he gets fresh air, he's going to be gone. Yeah, you can see Josh Pickering. He moves to the outside. Erik's running a really tight line around bends 1 and 2, and he gets out. I mean, Pico comes from a long way back there to go around him. It's a great ride.
Yeah, generated a lot of speed around the outside there, and that slingshot off turn 2 worked a treat for him. Meanwhile, that man was just cruising around on a Sunday afternoon out in front, making light of slightly challenging conditions, but he's looking good. We'll see plenty more from him, I'm sure, through the evening. Match-up in heat number 13 will be very interesting indeed. So an 8-point lead now for the home team, 34 points to 26. Riders have been released for heat number 11. A stop-start to the meeting in the first 4 races, but we're getting along nicely now with it. As I say, this will be what the home team will be looking for. They beat Bellevue Aces here by 18 points. They then went up by 22 points at the National Speedway Stadium after 4 heats. And could you believe it? It was only 2 points in it when they went into heat 15. It really was a dramatic night of Speedway. Will we see something similar like that on Thursday night? We will wait and see. Huge race here with Lambert and Doyle going head-to-head. Looking forward to it.
Can't wait for it. These are the races that we, as Speedway fans, we look forward to the most, and I'm sure it'll be a great race.
Line up for heat number 11. Jason Doyle off the inside in red. Robert Lambert out of gate number 2 in white. Danyon Hume, gate number 3 in blue, and Carl Howarth off the outside in yellow. Now, Howarth has been on his backside in his last race. He won't want to do that here. He'll want to try and get the better of Danyon Hume at the very least. Howarth only knows one way: give it everything. So does Danyon Hume. Could be quite an entertaining race. And Lambert and Doyle, 2 Grand Prix stars here, going head-to-head. What a lineup it is. Great to see Lambert back in British Speedway. Didn't commit to a full season, but joined the Kings Lynn Stars late on. They weren't going to make the playoffs, so became available with the injury woes that the Tigers have sustained, the ideal replacement to lead the team in the playoffs. Sitting down, just waiting for Jason Doyle to come forward now. 2 big hitters on gates 1 and 2. Here we go then. Heat number 11 takes, what a start from Doyle.
fabulous reaction away from the tapes. He gets to the first corner in front. Lambert's come through into second place with Carl Howarth getting the better of Danyon Hume into third. Brilliant start from the inside from Jason Doyle.
Like you said, fantastic reaction. And he dropped the clutch before Robert there. He was gone, and now he's looking okay in front. Robert's not letting him go, but he's Doyley's going to be a tough man to pass.
There has been a change here. It's Joe Thompson here. Apologies for that. We weren't made aware of the change there. Joe Thompson's at the back. Great battle out in front. We've got a lap to go. Robert Lambert coming on strong in second place. Doyle having to really work hard. One last chance now through the final corner on the final lap. Doyle's done enough. That start initially, he needed it because Lambert got better and better the longer the race went on there. Howarth has hung on in third place. So a damage limitation for the Tigers. Doyle needed to do the business, was able to cope with the responsibility in fine style, but once again, a fantastic demonstration of two World Championship riders going at it in heat number 11. Yeah, 37 points to 29. We'll give you the result now for heat number 11. Jason Doyle's out in front, 3 points. Robert Lambert strong in second place, 2 points for him. Carl Howarth picks up third place, 1 point. And Joe Thompson failed to score in heat number 11. Was a terrific run. I thought Lambert might be able to get to Jason Doyle.
Yeah, he certainly kept him honest throughout, but it was, you know, Doyley's start was electric there from gate one, and Robert closed in on him as the race went on. He looked like he settled into the race. Here we see Jason Doyle. What a start from gate one. I mean, he was sort of a metre clear within the first few metres. It was a great reaction, and Robert did his best to put pressure on him, and he did close in on him as the race went on. But two fantastic riders at the top of their game, going flat out.
Doyle responding brilliantly there. Let's get some reaction now. Let's get down to Dave. He's joined by Jason Doyle.
Jason, not the ideal start to the meeting for you with the crash in your first ride, but 3 wins, so all going well now.
Yeah, not. I guess the track's a little bit different after the rain we've had yesterday, so it's not like the typical beautiful smooth Ipswich that we've been used to this year. So it's a little bit off-putting for the boys, but we're working hard.
That was some start there in the last race to out-trap Robert Lambert because he was quick.
Yeah, I've obviously made a good start, and I've known my way around here now, so I guess we just need to keep pushing forward and see what happens in the end.
Yeah, you talked about the importance of Ipswich becoming champions, the hard work you put in this year, the effort that you've put in. So far, so good?
No, not really. We want a bigger lead like we did with Bellevue, and I might stay at home next time, mate, and let Bomber to come here and score more points, but the boys are working so hard. You can see we're all helping each other out. We're a good team spirit, and hopefully we can get there in the end.
Thanks, Jason. Don't stay at home. Too entertaining. Thank you. Back to Abby. Cheers.
Dave, thank you. Definitely don't stay at home, Jason Doyle. Right, that hashtag, let me remind you again, is Ipshy and Scott Nichols. He's not with us tonight because he's racing in the championship for Oxford Cheetahs. He's up in Glasgow. So your questions will be posed to Ollie Allen and to Calvin Tayton. The hashtag again, Ipshy, and those questions will come on Discovery Plus later on. Heat 12 then here at Foxhall is coming up next.
Joining me now is the SGP race director, Phil Morris. And Phil, it's been a big day, of course, because the wild cards for next season's Grand Prix have been announced this afternoon, the 5 of them. There are a couple of guys there I would suggest that many would have predicted would have got wild cards in Dan Bewley and Ty Woofenden. And Dan will come to straight away. Dan, of course, just slipping outside the top 6, won a Grand Prix, no surprise to see him back in.
Yeah, I think Dan's the future of the sport, you know, and I think he's one of the riders that potentially can rival the world champion in the next few years. So, yeah, I think Dan was a fairly easy one to put on the table.
Yeah, Dan's had some highlights, 3 finals and 3 wins, so he's going along very nicely. Ty Woofenden was the other one I think that a lot of people would have predicted. You showed me some stats about him just prior to doing this interview. He's had several wild-card picks before, but he was returning to form when he unfortunately got hurt.
Yeah, he's already had 3 wildcards. This is number 4, so people might, you know, think that's a bit too much. But also, you have to remember, in Riga, he made the final, and I'm sure he'll admit he made a big mistake by moving again at the start and getting disqualified. And I feel at Cardiff, if he hadn't have crashed, he was on his way to a good potential finalist there. So I think his form had turned, and of course, injury then curtailed his season. But I feel, you know, 3-time world champion, we felt he deserved another shot.
I don't think many people would disagree with that. Then now we're looking at, there are 3 more to come, of course, and we've got Andrei Lebedevs, who's been coming in as an injury replacement. He's done pretty much half the series, but hasn't done himself any harm at all. He looks like a guy that's on the up and up.
Yeah, you know, he's a racer, and he puts on a good show. He's good to deal with, and obviously being Latvian, we have the Grand Prix in Riga, so that was also a consideration to be more cosmopolitan around the world. And yeah, so I think he deserved this slot after what he's done this year.
Yeah, I would say he's a former European champion as well. He sort of disappeared off the radar a wee bit, but recently has found some form. We're looking at a couple of more guys now. Now, Kai Hülkenberg, who we've seen on a regular basis being the wild card for the Tetrode, the German Grand Prix, came in. He rode actually very well. He was a little bit up and down in Torren, but nonetheless, he had a couple of sparkling rides there. I think some people will be surprised to see Kai in the lineup, but nonetheless, he's there.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be. You know, we've, if I'm honest, we've had some negative from the last few years saying it's a very closed shop. So we've looked at what we can do, and yeah, we've actually got 5 new faces this year, which is a third of the field. But yeah, Kai, I think he did himself no harms by overtaking Bartosz Zmarzlik on the weekend. That obviously showed that he can do it, and he won a few races. And yeah, maybe that's the one that may have shocked a few people, but again, it's the first German since Martin Smolinski, I think, in 2015. So, again, we're trying to look more worldwide. And I only had 1 vote out of 6, so it's not all my fault before anyone says anything.
And then finally, we've got Dominic Kubera coming in, of course. No Dudek, no Janowski, but Kubera, obviously, a rider that has had a good season and clearly one that are looking for a big season in 24.
Yeah, he's probably the new breed of the Poles coming through. He was the 2nd top scorer in the World Cup for Poland, and the last time he was in the Grand Prix, I think it was the COVID year a few years back, and he had 2 performances at Lublin where he came 3rd and 2nd, so he really showed what he can do. He didn't get a wild card that year, and unfortunately had a bad injury at Warsaw Grand Prix this year that put him out for a lot of the season. But I think because he's young, he's fresh, and we needed sort of another pole in it, really, and it was unfortunate on Magic, but Dominic just got the shout over him.
After 11 heats, Witches are 8 points in front, 37-29. It's a team meeting for the Tigers just a moment ago. How many points can they claw back? Simon Stead obviously has been in the thick of the action tonight. He'll want just to finish this meeting on a high, but for the Ipswich Witches, who are also having a team meeting, Emil Sayfutdinov has been brilliant for them, as has Jason Doyle, and they'll want to take as big an advantage as possible to the away leg in Sheffield on Thursday night. But let's resume with the action then. Heat 12 to Ollie Allen, and first to Kelvin Tatum.
Thank you very much, Abby. Say the home team just beginning to stamp their authority on this meeting with an 8-point lead. Hearing from Jason Doyle, he's not happy, he wants more, and why not? They'll want to get as many points out of tonight as they possibly can. Heat number 12. Oh, no, overlook Danny King either. Danny's only dropped a couple of points tonight. He's had a couple of wins in a 3rd place. He's doing his part. 3 wins apiece for Emil Sayfutdinov and Jason Doyle. King is out in this race, heat number 12. We've got 2 changes for you. Joe Thompson is replaced by Danyon Hume for the home team, and Connor Mountain is replaced by Jason Edwards for the Sheffield Tigers in heat number 12. Riders approaching the tapes. Chris Holder needs to find the key to it.
Absolutely, he's had a tough night so far, and big race for him here, big race for Sheffield. They really need to start clawing some points back, and yeah, big one for Chris.
Danny King will go from the inside in the red helmet colour. Jason Edwards coming in here in gate number 2 in yellow. Gate number 3 in blue is Danyon Hume, and Chris Holder off the outside in white. Holder's scored 1 point so far from his 3 outings. If he can hit the front and just settle down a bit, then there's every chance he'll pick up a win here. But King is a danger man. He's on that inside gate, and he's been trapping quite nicely tonight, looking very determined indeed. Nonetheless, actually, Jason Edwards rode nicely last time, didn't he? It was a nice ride from him.
Yeah, he did look very accomplished and very safe in what are quite tricky conditions.
Danyon Hume has had quite an exciting night, I would say. He's been here, there and everywhere out on the track. You can't take your eyes off of him, but can't deny that he is giving it everything. Here we go, heat number 12, 8 points in it in favour of the home team. Tapes are up. Brilliant start from Danny King on the inside. Absolutely jet propelled. He forces his way into the first corner. Here comes Hume. Hume coming on strong. He comes into second place. Holder's back in third. Couldn't get out of gate number 4. But the home team are stealing a march here, and they're set for a 5-1 maximum score.
Yeah, great first bend from the Ipswich boys, and this is just what Doyle was talking about. We wanted a bigger lead going to Sheffield, and 5-1 here will give them just that.
Indeed it will. They're out in front. Chris Holder just trying to find the key to it, but Hume is there in second place. Danny King is pretty comfortable out in front. We're on board with Danyon Hume. We've seen all sorts of angles from him tonight, but right in now, it's a very handy second place for him. Jason Edwards is out the back. One last blast through the final corner here in heat number 12. And this is a massive moment in the context of the grand final. Massive 5-1. Massive 5-1 for the home team. And they really are turning on the pressure now. Sheffield Tigers were hanging tough in the first half of the meeting, but the second half of the meeting, it's going the way of the home team. Crowd delighted with it, rightly so. And Danny King's having a fantastic night. Great to see.
Yeah, great ride from both boys there, particularly Danyon Hume in fantastic second place.
Superb stuff from both the Witches there. Initially, King away from the inside. Result for you of heat number 12. Danny King out in front, 3 points for him. Danyon Hume back in second place, 2 points. Chris Holder, 1 point in third place, and Jason Edwards misses out in heat number 12. Well, this race was all about the start, in truth, Ollie, because King was so sharp away, but Danyon Hume coming through in second place, vital for the home team.
Yeah, great time for Danyon to pull one of those out of the bag, and it was by far his best ride of the night. Looked comfortable in second place there the whole race. So there you can see the onboard there of Danyon. You can get a bit of an idea of how bumpy it is. There we go, great start there from the Ipswich boys. Danny makes a good run from one. Doesn't look for his teammate, moves up to the outside, lets Danyon sort of do his own thing, but he's got that inside covered, and not the best night for Chris Holder. He looked more comfortable there, but yeah, I'm sure Simon expected a little bit more from him, but you know, riders do have these nights occasionally.
Okay, brilliant stuff from the home team. Let's get some reaction with David Rowe. He's with Richie Hawkins.
Richie, that's a massive 5-1. Danyon Hume, we never know quite what to expect, but that was a fantastic ride.
Yeah, he's so hyped up to do well. He knows he's got a massive job to do, and I think the first 3 heats, he's so pumped, he's tense, and he's made a few mistakes. So after his third ride where he fell off, I just sent him away. He said, just go, sort yourself out, relax, breathe, and then he's come back, and he's brilliant ride.
You've got that lead now into double figures, and you've got the Doyle-Sayfutdinov combination coming up, presumably twice more to come. You have the chance here to build a really convincing advantage.
Yes, but they're going to have 1 and 3, and they're going to choose it in 15. So gate 1 seems far better than 2, 3 and 4 tonight. I'd say the other 3 are pretty even, but gate 1's got a massive advantage. So, you know, rob off them, and Rich is a very good starter. So whoever's off 1 there's got a good chance. And our boys, you know, it's going to be hard. Like, Rob's one of the best riders in the world, so You know, it's certainly not given.
Thanks, Richard. Keep it going. Thank you.
Cheers, Dave.
Massive racing prospect here. Heat 13, what a lineup it is. Very eye-catching indeed. Richard Hawkins there rightly pointing out that Robert Lambert will be going from the inside gate in Heat 13. Good battle between Sayfutdinov in Heat number 1 and Robert Lambert. Lambert kept him very honest out in front. And Lambert, if he hits the front, is going to be a tough man to peg back. Doyle unbeaten, Sayfutdinov unbeaten. Lambert's only dropped a couple of points. Richard Lawson, as I say, he passed Emil Sayfutdinov earlier on and gave the man a bit of a shock. Not many people have done that. What a race this is in prospect.
Yeah, a huge race coming up, and yeah, I can't wait for it, to be honest. You've got 3 world-class riders, and Richard Lawson is a fantastic British League rider, and he's been trapping tonight. He's looked good. He's been in the mix in every race. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Number 13 the line-up for you. Robert Lambert will go from the inside in white. Emil Sayfutdinov out of gate number 2 in red. Richard Lawson from gate number 3 in yellow, and off the outside is Jason Doyle in blue. 12-point lead to the home team, going along nicely. Big 5-1 in Heat 12. Crucial part of the meeting. 3 all here. I would think a double-figure lead going into Allerton on Thursday night will be satisfactory for the home team. Of course, Sheffield Tigers will want to get it back down to single digits if they can. Set nicely now. It's poised finely. This race, I would suggest if the Tigers could get a 3-all here, that would be job done.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think in 13 and 15, if they can get a 3-all from those two, they'll be happy with that.
Indeed they will. Not easy though. Sayfutdinov and Doyle are a strong pairing. Arguably the strongest pairing in the league. Here we go then. What a racing prospect this is. Grand final, first leg here in Foxhall Heath in Ipswich. Heat 13. Don't take your eyes off of it. Tapes are up. And I tell you what, Lambert just missed that. Sayfutdinov gets there. Doyle's alongside him. What a result this would be for the home team. Unbelievable that. Now Doyle and Sayfutdinov locked together. 1 and 2 in Heat 13. Lambert's back in 3rd place. Lawson missed it as well. What a result this would be.
Oh, lift there. Huge lift there from Emil in 2nd place, but great result here for the Ipswich boys. Good start from them both. Like you said, I think Robert twitched a little bit just before the tapes went up, and he's got his work cut out to catch those 2 boys now.
Indeed he has. He's trying awfully hard, but Jason Doyle and Sayfutdinov dominating Heat number 13 right from the moment the tapes went up. They're into the last lap. Fabulous performance here once again from the Ipswich boys. This pairing have been absolutely fabulous throughout 2023. And what a moment it is, a grounder on their feet. Huge 5-1, back-to-back 5-1s. And that lead all of a sudden moving on to 16 points. 16 points up with 2 races to go tonight. This is exactly what they were looking for. Jason Doyle wasn't happy with the lead they had earlier on. No, he wanted more, he wasn't satisfied. And both those 2 boys from the Ipswich Witches remain unbeaten by an opponent tonight. Delight the home crowd. They're going to come around for a celebration lap, rightly so. What a performance that was. Look at that reaction. Fabulous to see, Ollie.
Yeah, brilliant to see these crowds at British Speedway, and yeah, the Ipswich fans will be over the moon with that 5-1 against Robert Lambert. I mean, it's no mean feat at all. Great start from the boys when they needed it. Pressure was on, and yeah, they get the job done.
Smashing scenes here at Foxhall Heath. Home crowd chuffed to bits. It was tense times early doors. Jason Doyle out in front, 3 points for him. Emil Sayfutdinov back in 2nd place, 2 points. Robert Lambert picks up a point in 3rd place, and Richard Lawson misses out in Heat 13. Didn't think it would be quite as straightforward as that, but the starts from Doyle and Sayfutdinov absolutely out of the top draw here.
Yeah, I think you see Robert just twitch a little bit before the tapes went up, and it was enough to give Emil the start, get over him into turn 1, and then you see Emil there looking over his right shoulder to allow his teammate round the outside, and great team riding, great awareness there from Emil, and yeah, once they got into that position, you knew it was going to be tough.
Lambert just missed it. He's made a sense that if he'd made the start, then Emil Sayfutdinov and Doyle would have had to work very hard, but just at that crucial moment, those are the fine margins, aren't they, in grand finals?
Yeah, they are, and at the top level, that is what you're talking about, these really small percentages. I look at the bike control there from Emil. Bike stands up coming out of the bend, and he gets it down. You know, a lesser rider would be through the fence there on the back straight.
Richie Hawkins, first time I've seen him remove that hat all year. And that just shows you the situation they are in. But all of a sudden, they've got a nice handy lead here at 16 points. 2 races to come tonight, and then another 15 as a minimum, of course, on Thursday. We're just approaching the midway point in the grand final. Ipswich Witches in charge right now.
Certainly are. They'll be more than happy with a lead like this, I think. Yeah. Doyle said it. He said it a few races ago. They needed it. They needed to start scoring more points. And since Heat 9, they've pushed on.
They have indeed. The second half of the meeting has belonged to the home team. Sheffield Tigers were keeping it to a 2, a 4, a 6-point advantage to the home team, and that was probably quite satisfactory. But right now, 16 points back. Need to salvage something out of heat number 14 here. Riders are up at tapes. Line up for heat 14. Danyon Hume off the inside in blue. Josh Pickering out of gate number 2 in white. Keynan from gate number 3 in red. And Jason Edwards off the outside in yellow. Opportunity for them to just battle back here. And Ollie, I would suggest if they can get a 4-2, any sort of heat advantage here would be very welcome.
Absolutely, yeah. The key here will be the first bend, and they really need Pico to make a start from gate 2, try and clamp Danyon on the curb, and maybe allow room for Jason to come around the outside. You know, that's got to be the game plan here to try and get a heat advantage.
See how it goes, but can't disagree with that. Pickering is a hard charger and has ridden strongly tonight. He's been battling away. He's at a 3rd place and 2 second places. He's been getting better actually as the evening's gone on. So could heat 14 be his? He'll be certainly hoping so. Simon Stead will be hoping so as well. Edwards failed to score last time after a very handy ride. And heat number 8. Here we go then. 16 points is the difference. 2 races to go tonight. Tapes are up. Oh, the Ipswich duo have made a smashing start there. Hume on the inside, Rue around the outside, a 5-1 on the cards again, and they are in dominant move here. Pickering back in 3rd place. He's there or thereabouts. He's going to have to really go good. He's in the 2nd place. Now he's coming on strong. Can he get the better of Keynan out in front? He's on the back wheel down the back straight.
Great ride from Pico there, moving to the outside. He's now looking to cut back on Rue. And fantastic effort from him to split the Ipswich duo and stop that 5-1, but...
Here he comes! Pickering down the inside! What a dynamic move that is! Dive bombs up the inside of Rue. He's come from 3rd to 1st. They're battling hard.
And Hume's gone down!
Hume's gone down! Now there's drama at the front as well. Pickering and Keynan just swapping places. Drama in heat 14. Going the way of the Sheffield Tigers now. What a result that was. Jason Edwards coming through. And in the end, a 4-2.
I didn't see that coming.
No, not at all. A 4-2 to the visitors, the Sheffield Tigers. Just what the doctor ordered for them. Disappointment for Hume. The 2nd time he's gone down in turns 3 and 4. Frustration for him when he was riding so well. But Pickering, what an effort that was. Even prior to Hume falling off, he had ridden like a champion there to hit the front. Fantastic stuff from the Australian. But right now, that was just what they needed at the conclusion of heat 14. Result then for you. Josh Pickering out in front, 3 points for him. Keynan 2 points in 2nd place. Jason Edwards coming through into 3rd place, and Danyon Hume failing to score. Oh, yeah. So let's just watch this again. This was action-packed right from the get-go.
Yeah, huge first bend there from the Witches. Keynan took care of Jason Edwards going into the bend, and then you see, I mean, Ipswich looked comfortable there for a lap or so, but then Josh Pickering set about after them, and he soon passed Danyon Hume. Here you see Pickering on the outside in the dirt, going around the outside of him, gets into 2nd place, and then after that, he keeps going. He goes after Keynan. You see him dive up the inside into turn 3. Great move across the rut there. Get great control of the bike. Keeps the lead. And then I'm not sure what happens to Danyon at the back.
So unfortunate for Danyon Hume, who just bails off late on in the race, but a fantastic effort from Josh Pickering out in front with getting the better of Keynan. Really was a dynamic, brilliant ride from him. But let's get some more reaction. Let's get down to Dave Rowe now.
Yeah, the Sheffield Tigers, as soon as that race was complete, Josh Pickering back in the pits after a superb ride there, and they're all round with Simon Stead now deciding the options for Heat 15. You'd have to believe he's going to go with Lambert and Pickering after that. But yeah, they certainly had an open opportunity back into the tie maybe at that stage if they were conceding a 5-1 in that race, a disaster. But Pickering's third to first ride there. He's exchanging the information now, and Simon Stead also chatting with looking at gate positions, bringing in the reserves as well for a final team chat ahead of Heat 15.
Dave, thank you very much. Well, final reminder to use that hashtag. And in the next break on Discovery Plus, I'll be asking Ollie and Kelvin your questions. So the hashtag is Ipshy. And when we resume with the racing here, we've got the big Heat 15. See you soon. Right, so welcome back, all our digital viewers. This is the time of the night where I usually ask Scott Nichols your question, but I'm going to pose them to Ollie and to Kelvin Tatum. So, gentlemen, I'll let you decide who takes which question. So first of all, it's about the start of the night and some of the decisions that were made, particularly Heat 4. Why were all 4 allowed to come back? Who wants to take that one?
Well, I think that should go to Ollie. I don't feel... I'm sure he's more than accomplished to answer that question.
I think, for me, I actually disagreed with it, so I don't know why all 4 are allowed back. It's great for the good of the sport that all 4 are allowed in the rerun, but you can see here that really it's Danyon's doing. I think Danyon sort of... I don't know, he overturns the bike, he stops in the middle of the corner, Jason had nowhere to go, and that caused the crash as opposed to it being sort of first bend bunching and all 4 back. So in my opinion, I don't think it should have been all 4 back.
Yeah, Ollie, I think for the people on X are agreeing with you. I think there was a genuine curiosity of why all 4 were allowed to come back. The next question then, Calv, is why is Chris Holder having so much trouble this evening?
Hard one to answer because he's been in such great form for the Sheffield Tigers so far. I think probably conditions. He isn't settling in. He's spent a lot of time out of Britain riding on the continent where the tracks are pretty smooth and fairly slick. Tonight the track is quite challenging. There's some dirt out there. It's a bit bumpy and you can see he's really struggling to find a setup where he feels comfortable, and as a consequence he's just not quite attacking the track quite like he would like. So I think that's the reason. I'm sure he'll put that right on Thursday, though.
There is a lot of talk about the track conditions tonight, gentlemen. Is that just due to the heavy weather that they had here in Suffolk last night?
I think that certainly plays a part in it. There would have been more water on the track in the last few days than normal leading up to a race, and that will mean the base of the track is a bit softer. So, yeah, I think there were some soft parts of the track. You can see some ruts developing, and it has been a little bit challenging for some of the boys, and you can see that some of the riders are handling it better than others.
Final question then, Calv. This is from Daniel Wright. With Sayfutdinov having such a high average, has it made getting a team spot difficult for next year? 10+ averages is so high.
Well, they will have to compromise at the bottom end of the team, but when you've got a rider of that quality, I'm sure they'll be very keen to sign him again.
Yeah, absolutely. Gentlemen, thank you very much. So with one heat remaining, Ipswich Witches on this first leg of the grand final have a 14-point advantage, 59-35. Before we speak to the team managers and get their picks for Heat 15, a reminder of all the other sport you can enjoy coming up on the channel. The Snooker Home Nation Series English Open is on now on Eurosport 1. Football UEFA Champions League. You can catch match day 2 on TNT Sports live, 5 p.m. tomorrow. It features Newcastle versus PSG, RB Leipzig versus Manchester City, and Celtic versus Lazio. And then the Mountain Bike World Cup, they're in Mount Santan, and you can see that Eurosport 2 Friday at 9:15. So we are now joined by the team managers, and just get a word from you, Richie. Wow, what an advantage you have at the moment.
Yeah, it's a decent lead, but I think it's quite even probably if we end up going there with 14 points. I'd say it's quite an even. It's all to play for then on Thursday. You can see how good Sheffield were around there last week against Wolves. So yeah, it's a nice lead, but yeah, it's you know, we could do a few more here.
You've had full commitment from your riders, though, and they've been involved with a lot of the drama. And for Sheffield Tigers, then, Steady, they were really close in the first half of the meeting, and then Ipswich Witches have just pulled out some big heat advantages.
Yeah, look, fair play to them. We got caught short a little bit in the middle of the meeting there, so we're paying for that now. But look, make no mistake, we'll be coming out fighting on Thursday.
So you've got the choice for Heat 15, so you're runners and riders.
Yeah, we're going to go Gates 2 and 4, Robert Lambert off 2, and Josh Pickering off 4.
Great, thank you. And for you, Richie?
Well, we'll have Jason and Emil, and Jason will be, surprisingly, Jason will be off 1 and Emil off 3.
Thank you, guys. Good luck for this final heat. Kelvin and Ollie, back to you.
Thank you very much, Abby. What a conclusion to the first leg this is. Pickering has been going great guns for Sheffield Tigers just recently. Lambert probably will be frustrated to have been beaten up in heat number 13. I sense he'll be very keen to put that right here in the last race of the evening.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Roberts looked really good tonight, and he won't want to finish his night with anything other than a win, really. He'll be, you know, with these top guys, there's always a sort of mental game going on, and they're always trying to get one over each other whenever they meet each other. So yeah, there'll be an element of that going into this, as well as the team aspect.
Indeed. Riders coming out for the final time this evening. As I say, the pairing of Doyle and Emil Sayfutdinov is a team manager's dream, you have to believe. It really is a strong pairing. They were so fabulous in Bellevue, of course, when they managed to clinch the deal when they were only just 2 points up going into the last race of the semi-final. Coming round to the start, can Robert Lambert do something from gate number 2? He's going to need to. He's going to have to get over the top of Jason Doyle. Sure, there's an opportunity here for the Ipswich men to stretch that lead out once again.
Yeah, it'd be great to see Robert make a start here and see what the Ipswich boys can do from behind, but it's going to be tough. But you know, the Ipswich guys have been gating well tonight, and yeah, there's certainly a lot of pressure on the Sheffield boys here.
Line up for heat 15. Jason Doyle will go from inside gate in red. Robert Lambert out of gate number 2 in white. Emil Sayfutdinov off gate number 3 in blue, and Josh Pickering off the outside in the yellow helmet colour. Pickering has ridden his socks off tonight. I mean, the way he rode in the previous race, coming from 3rd to 1st, was a terrific effort from him. Sayfutdinov and Doyle unbeaten coming into number 15. Can Lambert keep it to 14 by winning the race, or could they both hit the front here? Of course, Simon Stead will be trying to get it as close to 10 as he possibly can. I think even at 14, I think they would still fancy their chances. It could still be nicely poised going into the second leg.
Yeah, I think so. I think Sheffield's a tricky place to go to, and you never know whether you're going to get up in Yorkshire on a cold Thursday evening, so that could make things worse.
Indeed it could. So 14 points the difference. Last race of the night here in Foxhall Heath. Here we go then, green light is on, claims are up, Doyle's made a smashing start off the inside gate, Sayfutdinov missed it, he chops back to the inside, Lambert's being pushed very wide, here they come, up the inside now, Sayfutdinov joined, oh, he's got a little bit out of shape, brilliant first lap from Emil Sayfutdinov, who missed the start. It's Josh Pickering now that's come through into third place with, surprisingly, Robert Lambert at the back.
Very hard first bend there from Jason Doyle. Moved Robert over, left him no room coming out of the first bend. And allowed room for Emil to get up the inside, and now the Ipswich pair riding perfectly in front on a 5-1.
Looking set to finish the night on a 5-1 and remain unbeaten throughout the evening into the last lap. Doyle and Emil Sayfutdinov. Now Pickering's pulled up, some sort of a mechanical issue for him. Disappointment for Pickering. Lambert through into third place. Ipswich fans on their feet. What a night that is, and what a turnaround in the last 8 races. It really has been a meeting of two halves for the home team. Struggled earlier on when it was very tight indeed, but the longer the night's gone on, the better they've got. And the 5-1 and heat number 15 is just what they were looking for. And as I say, their top two have been outstanding this evening. And their lead is now 54 points to 36. So an 18-point lead that they will have going into Allerton on Thursday night, and that's exactly what they achieved against the Bellevue Aces here in the semi-final. Brilliant result for the home team, Ollie.
Yeah, great result for Ipswich, and I think it's, with a lead like that, it makes Thursday so interesting. I think if it had been closer, I would have fancied Sheffield's chances, but I wouldn't like to call it now.
Well, I'm going to say it. Ipswich Witches are favourites to clinch their first title in 25 years. They've got to be. 18-point lead is a very handy one. Doyle out in front, 3 points for him. Emil Sayfutdinov coming through into second place, 2 points for him. Robert Lambert back in third place with the Josh Pickering's bike packing up there in heat number 15. 2 races back-to-back, just too much for that motorcycle tonight. What a night in the end for the Ipswich Witches.
Yeah, and you see here, Jason makes a great start from gate 1, immediately looks to see if his teammate's there. He's not, so he runs up to the dirt, and Robert actually touches his back wheel there. His front wheel goes up Jason's back wheel, so amazing bike control from Robert there to stay on.
Tough first corner, wasn't it? Really was. Doyle didn't see his teammate, and he just goes straight across the first corner.
Yeah, and you'd expect him to do that, but I really put into words how the bike control there from Robert Lambert. I mean, it could have been so much worse, but the Ipswich boys, there they are in front on a 5-1. They look comfortable once they got in front. You can see they ride together a lot. They look for each other. They understand how they ride, and yeah, they look good. What a great top two to have in your team.
As I said before, the team manager's dream when you can write them down on your programme for heat number 15, and they do the business.
You can fill that out before the meeting, can't you?
Yeah, exactly, you can.
We did.
Yeah, exactly. Danny King also doing the business tonight as well. Right, let's get some more reaction and make our way down to Abbey in the pits.
Cal, thank you. Well, the Ipswich fans are on their feet. It's been a mighty performance. Calvin and I spoke at the start of the meeting. We said, can they repeat what they did in the semi-final, going into their second leg with an 18-point advantage? We didn't think so, but they've done it again. More analysis coming up. and it's half-time in this grand final, and the Ipswich Witches will take an 18-point lead to Owlerton on Thursday. The final score here then in Foxhall, 54-36. So for you cycling fans, tomorrow on Thursday at 1:50, you've got the cycling from Gran Piemonte. You can see that on Eurosport 2. Il Lombardi is on Saturday at 9:15, and the Paris Tours Sunday at 2:10. Both of those also on Eurosport 2. Let's head over to Dave Rowe now. He's got Josh Pickering, who's been so gutsy tonight.
Yeah, Josh, the second half of the meeting didn't go to plan for Sheffield, but your race in Heat 14 probably keeps things interesting for Thursday. Tell us about that race.
Yeah, it was, it's a difficult track out there tonight. It's probably tougher than it actually looks. Quite a few holes about, and it's a nice berm line, but look, mate, the way I look at it, they've rolled us here, and there's no reason why we can't do that at home. Our boys that we have there this year currently, especially with Robert coming in, like he brings a big boost as well at number 1 place. I think we've got Bomber in our number 5 as well. Last time he was there, I think got 16 points. So myself and Chris in the middle, and the boys, second strings in the reserve. I think that it's definitely possible that we can turn it over.
We saw you have that team meeting after Heat 14. What will be said, do you think, in the next couple of days building up to Thursday?
Oh, look, mate, you can't put pressure on things at Speedway. What will be will be. We're not going to go down without a fight. In my opinion, I honestly think within the first half a dozen heats throughout the meeting at Sheffield, we can turn it back, and it's going to be very close. At Bellevue, they obviously brought it right to the end, and if things go to plan and how I feel that we're all possible of doing, there's in our team tonight, there's riders that didn't score what they're definitely going to score at Sheffield, and the boys that sort of scored for the Ipswich team, in my opinion, I feel that we can take points off them as well. So I'm well up for it, and I know the rest of the boys are, and I can't wait for Thursday.
Thanks, Josh. We look forward to it. See you Thursday. Back to Abby.
Cheers.
Dave, thank you. Doyle Jason Doyle now, who's officially a native Brit, because we've been speaking about the weather off camera. It's so cold, isn't it? So good. Doyle, a 15-point maximum tonight, but really you and Emil have just been outstanding. But the partnership you have, you seem to just know where each other are. It's majestic to watch.
Yeah, it's great. After 1 year, you can ride with Emil like that, and there's always a look in the first corner to see where each other are, and we can always ride pretty well and close together without getting in trouble. So it's a great partnership, and I've had a great year with Emil. He's a lovely kid.
When Dave Rowe spoke to you early on in the meeting, you said we need more points. We need to take more points to Owlerton on Thursday. Did you think you were going to take 18 points?
No, definitely not. I think it was 6 up, and Richie said to us, we need to have a big second half here, boys, because we need some points. And coming away with 18 points is a great lead, but it's not over. It's going to be tough at Sheffield. They're so quick around there, and we know our job's not going to be easy. You are obviously Australian, and fellow Aussie there, Josh Pickering, saying that the Tigers aren't going to go down without a fight. No, that's it. I know with Josh, he's out-and-out racer, and the boys that are in that Tigers team is the same. So, but we've got 7 riders exactly the same, and we're going to go there and then hopefully lift the trophy. Jason, well done again tonight. Thank you for chatting to us. Let's hear from Robert Lambert now. He's with Dave.
Yeah, Robert standing in for the Sheffield team as a guest, and very, very hard to come here and face Doyle and Emil, who have done it all season, really. Very, very tough. How did you find it?
Well, I think, Phil is doing the best job what he possibly can do, with the tracks that he's got in England. But, this is one of the tracks that need to be seriously looked into, they complain about the Grand Prix in Teterow, but, Teterow is like 10 times better than and this track, what he had to ride on tonight. That's a bit of a joke, really. But, and also the referee needs to relook his thinking about decisions, and I just had a quick word with him, and I said, are you in Sheffield? He said yes. So I said, if I have contact in the first corner with somebody and that person falls off, I'll be back in the rerun with all 4, because apparently the rules are, or someone told him that any incident on the first bend means that all 4 riders are back. And I feel that's a little bit wrong, especially when 2 of the Ipswich riders came down in one race and no one was excluded. So, it's a bit of a, one of them which it's a bit frustrating when things don't go your way. But I feel once we go on a good track in Sheffield, we can bring it home.
Yeah, it sounds like although you're guesting, you've clearly bought into Sheffield, and there's, with what's happened tonight, plenty of determination to turn it around on Thursday.
Definitely, you know, I was riding the bike as hard as I could and doing what I could on the track, but sometimes, you know, if you use your brain a little bit too much, you're not going to win races, and a few of them obviously didn't have the marbles all in, and they don't care if they go through the fence and onto the car track, but yeah, that's Speedway in the UK, and you know, I'm happy to be back and do my part for Sheffield, and hopefully we can turn it around on Thursday and bring it home, and I'll get another gold medal like I did last year.
Thank you, Robert. See you Thursday. Thank you.
Wow, some strong words by Robert Lambert. I'll speak to Calvin about some of those comments in just a moment, but the second leg of this final will take place Thursday at Owlerton. Sheffield versus Ipswich, of course. Eurosport 2 live, 7:30. Put it in your diary, 7:30, Eurosport 2. And of course, you can watch it on Discovery Plus as well. The Home Nation Series, the English Open Snooker, that's every day on Eurosport 1. And Motocross World Championships and Motocross of Nations is Eurosport 2 live on Sunday at midday. Cal, some strong comments there from Robert Lambert. First of all, talking about, well, comparing this to Teterov, and we know how attritional and difficult Teterov can be, and he was saying that it's much better than what Ipswich have been tonight. What do you think of that?
Regarding the track?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the track was challenging. I think the weather's played its part. There's no question there was plenty of grip on the track, and it was a bit bumpy. Same for both teams. He's a top quality rider, hasn't had the night he was looking for, so some frustration there. I have some sympathy about the Heat 4 incident. I think the home team were a little fortunate there with Danyon Hume making that mistake, but yeah, he was quite forthright. I think the adrenaline's going, and he wanted to do better than he had done.
Yeah, and look, it always happens, doesn't it? Some decisions go against you.
Yep.
They'll have to put that behind them now. They've got 18 points to make up on their home track, and they have been sensational at home.
They have been very good at home. I don't know how many times they've beaten teams by 18 or more. I think it will be a tall order because Ipswich are a strong-looking outfit, and when you've got Sayfutdinov and Doyle in there, Danny King is going well. They all like it there, so it will be a tough meeting. But Pickering, listening to him, chatting to Dave there, he's obviously very keen and very determined to try and battle back.
You have got, though, the small matter of Emil Sayfutdinov and Jason Doyle, who are just at one with each other, aren't they? They're just riding so well together.
Yeah, it's fabulous. Even in these demanding conditions tonight, the moves they make, they know the place so well, they know each other so well. They've clicked together, as Jason was saying. He just finds it a pleasure to ride with them. And I think when you've got that sort of intuitive sort of feeling between riders, it really does make it so much easier. And for Richie Hawkins, it can dig him out of trouble at times, but also tonight they just extended the lead. The way they performed in the second half was terrific.
OK, so Owlerton next, and it is a tall order for Sheffield Tigers. What do you think can happen, Cal?
Well, I say always a good start. They must get off to a good start, a strong start, to try and eke into that lead immediately. Although when we reflect on what the Ipswich Witches did with Bellevue Aces did to the Ipswich Witches, they went 22 points behind, and then suddenly it was only 2 points. But I do believe in the grand final, I think they need to reduce that deficit down to single digits by the midway point. Yeah,
and for Ipswich Witches, they won't want a repeat of what it was like at the National Speedway Stadium, where it's just down to heat 15.
No, I think Chris is looking older. He's looking a lot older, so is Richie. So they won't want that. That was real nail-biting stuff, but it was real sporting theatre for us. Nonetheless, I would say that Ipswich are in the driving seat.
They're absolutely in the driving seat. Calvin, thank you for your company. Thank you for your company at home. Make sure you join us on Thursday. Witches are flying to that second leg of the grand final. See you then.
Good night.